Hello, welcome to the Stream of Chaos. We are Chaosium's official live play channel and we play Call of Cthulhu. Now, before we jump into our characters, we implemented a little tool, I guess, last week, which is a metric of points that you guys accumulate for watching the show, which you can spend to give the investigators effects. You can heal them, you can grant them some luck, or you can force them to push rolls that they make, possibly having at least dramatic effects. Whether they're good or not, we'll need to see. Now, last time we had some rolling associated with that. We have made some minor changes. Healing's down to a flat amount, as is giving luck. Simplifies things, keeps things rolling, and makes sure that they're going to get the maximum effect. And I'd also just like to remind everyone that Mr. Richards, playing Nick DeMartino, needs to push whatever next handgun roll he makes. So, if things go poorly, he could be in for some trouble. So,
and that was thanks to channel points spent by Art 12?
I think that's right. No, I think Reaper...
Reaper?
Reaper did the negative things. Art, I think, healed you.
Yeah.
Or no, gave you a bonus die, which you could use. That's right.
But
that's
importantly, Art 12, of course, has just subscribed.
Yes, and thank you very much for doing so. That was with Twitch Prime. And if you guys have an Amazon account, I think it is, you get Twitch Prime. So yeah, jump on the wagon. Alright, let's meet the cast. So Jim, why don't you fire us off and let's go around the table.
Hello, yes, I am Jim. I am playing José Castillo, the bodyguard of this fine gentleman. When we last left off, I was standing stoically nearby, covered in plasters because I'm still quite injured, loading up a truck, preparing to depart.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Jackson. I'm playing William Vanderven. When last we met, I was in a camping gear shop buying 4 of everything because William Vanderven can do that. And then immediately set Jose to work loading said gear up on the truck, which he is very industrious at. Nothing's going wrong.
No. It's great. You know, we're going on an expedition. It's wonderful.
Hi, I'm Rachael. I am playing Edie. Last we saw me, I potentially committed vehicular murder, but we'll... You're like shaking your head. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Oh, it was definitely vehicular, at least
Assault?
attempted murder. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
assault.
Cool. Attempted is not...
Can you just put vehicular in front of any crime, or is it only...
What,
Vehicular
like,
robbery?
Yeah.
Vehicular tax
Vehicular
evasion?
tax
Vehicular
evasion.
insider trading.
It's if you're behind the wheel.
I'm Dan. I'll be playing Detective Nick DeMartino. Last time on stream, I got captured and had to be rescued by said vehicular assault. And yeah.
Yep. And lastly, I'm Dave. I'm the keeper of arcane law, and I get to decide what roles are required for vehicular assault. Alright, so when we pick up, the two of you are cruising towards the hotel that the 4 of you have stayed in last night.
Cruising is a very
Hooning.
gentle word
Yeah, you're right.
for what we're doing.
Yes, hooning towards in a stolen truck, and the 2 of you are standing out the front in your own modified truck, loading in all the equipment that you've just purchased. Now, you've gotten a wealth of camping supplies, because previously you'd opted to pack largely suits, bathtubs, and rice cookers. As the 2 of you pull in just behind it, you will need to decide what you're bringing and what's just getting left by the wayside as you try and get out of here as quickly as possible. What's the go?
To be clear, we also got information. It wasn't a total washout.
Yes.
We got information.
yeah.
You got a pair of journals, which are just up there.
We got Fontanelli's last known movements.
And presumably Argus is with Fontanelli as well.
Yes, along with some others.
I think this was
We got a tidbit of information about the origin of Argus, and that he may be from another time and transported and put in the body of
Yes.
the
and
being
then-
that is now Ferdinand Argus. Or so Leopold Fontanelli believes.
Yeah.
And for those just joining us, we want to find Fontanelli because Brandon Sterling, a dear friend of ours, has gone missing after associating with Fontanelli and Ferdinand Argus.
We've been asked by Melody Sterling to find them.
So they've gone up to the Devil's Pass Trail somewhere in the mountain.
In the Catskill Mountains, yeah.
Yeah, and also their whole cult believes there's some like lost civilization buried inside the ground, inside a second Earth that's inside this Earth.
A lot of this is what we're working on. We're not
Yeah,
100%, but yeah.
Well, they seem to believe.
They
seem to
believe that is
that
correct,
within the
yeah.
Earth there is another.
And he looks like a truss worm there.
And
Look at that beard!
and Leopold looks really weird too. He's all curvy. The only other thing is we're not actually going to go after them. we're not going up Devil's Pass.
We're gonna try to cut them
Yes.
off.
Your Bob, yeah, but first we're going after your sister.
Yes, my sister, who is currently at the Slater Institute for Parapsychological Studies. My sister was special. She was strange, and when we were young, she was taken away from our family and has been shipped around to a few of these institutes. But this one's, there's something iffy about this. The letter implies that she's having a good time and everything's okay, but there's something in the subtext there that I don't like.
And we can kind of do a loop, right? So we head to Woodstock where the Institute is, and then we continue up to the pass, and if we do some off-roading, which your specially designed car should let us, we can cut them off.
I think we may have to do off-roading walking.
Oh, right.
I don't know if we're having this conversation. The car that we're in is stolen. Oh no, but it was their.
We've got the.
It was their mountaineering car.
They both have it's like mountaineering car in that it can go off road. Neither of these would make it up hiking trails. They just don't have the capacity to do so unless you rolled really,
We
really
should
well.
probably pick up the scene where you come careering towards.
Yes.
In your stolen car.
So,
You guys sitting there. You want the rope? This rope or that rope?
Oh, I like.
I think I got a big black eye from where I got biffed in the face by one of the Weblin brothers.
birds are chirping. The sun is out. It's a beautiful.
All you can
Sunday
hear is the
morning.
roar of an engine in the background, suddenly in a plume of dust that's rising closer and closer, and in the distance, sirens. The two of them skirt just in front of you. The brake pulled and bits of dust flying backwards. There's plenty of the room in the back of this truck, but it's going to be a matter of time. What are you bringing and what's being left behind?
Oh gosh.
I thought we were taking our truck.
I think that our truck is at capacity, so we don't really have time.
You'd need to load the other one. What are you guys doing? What's the plan?
Food.
Also, what do you say to them as well? What's
okay.
We gotta go.
We need to leave.
All right. Food.
Get in, losers.
Food, rope, clothes.
Yes.
In that
As
order. In that
priority.
priority.
Can we not take both of them?
I'm sure we can.
You can absolutely.
We have
one
like
of
stuff
you-
Legally,
inside
no.
Is the I think is the
Okay.
issue. Like
Okay.
we haven't put it in the car.
Oh, okay, right. Now I'm caught up.
Okay.
It's
Like,
I was
I
miles
imagine
away.
all this supplies just piled on the side of the road, ready to go into that car, and then we squeal up. And it's like, all right, pile it into the
Yeah,
bigger truck.
whatever
Well, I
you
mean,
can.
do we need some kind of roll to see how far we were along?
I mean, you could have been carefully packing things. I could see either survival for choosing what you're going to do, otherwise, I guess some sort of mechanical thing for finding locations in the truck.
Luck.
Luck, probably not luck on this one.
let's
Can I
just
roll like
say.
Tetris skill?
Yeah, you really need
How
to.
about you do a
What's
survival,
Tetris?
and since I was
Yeah, you're
helping,
right.
do advantage.
I got. Have you seen me?
Yeah, I'm not good. All right, I'll roll it. But
You're the one doing the loading.
I'll take advantage.
You should.
So
do it.
I'm getting assisted by Vandervan.
Sure, sure.
I'm being I'm supervising.
It's much assisting as micromanaging, but you get.
Yep, that's a fail. Can I
Push it?
I was gonna say, can I push it to say that what we had done is we had started stacking things on pallets. So if I pass this roll,
It's
it's
easier.
really easy. We just lift one
But if you
pallet and we get
fail,
it
you
all
can't
in.
get
And if we
anything.
fail, it's all
I
tied
don't
up.
like those odds. Personally.
Okay.
I
No,
think
let's leave
that's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, alright.
Yeah, he likes it,
Okay.
which means I don't like it.
Can you remind us what your skill in survival is?
Well, it's higher than 9.
And what's the pass fumble rate on survival rolls? No, okay, when you guys pull up, because the problem was you had loaded this car to the gunnels already with non-essential equipment, which you thought was crucial.
We've stored all that at the hotel.
So you're not intending to come back for it, or your nice
I believe
suits?
we'll come back for it.
Is the bathtub still coming with? It was strapped on the roof.
Where is it? Is it on
It's
the
strapped
car?
It was strapped on the
Well,
roof.
there's no
last we saw.
fucking time. It's staying on the
Okay, alright, good. So the bathtub's
Alright.
remaining.
Which
and
car we
everything
take?
else.
We take the truck.
we
Take
take
both.
both?
Load them in.
Oh,
I'm
we're
throwing
taking
stuff
both?
in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you
alright.
drive, DeMartino?
I can't die.
Can
I
you
mean, I
drive?
can, but
Sure. Yes.
Wait, what do you mean? That's not the word.
Okay,
that I was looking
load,
for.
go.
alright.
Stuff is thrown into the back of the truck as Edie moves
I'm loading
out
stuff in the truck.
and
the truck's
begins to.
bigger.
Yeah, you just hurled in the back. The tailgate's slung up and nothing's actually strapped down. If you hit anything bumpy, there's a good chance supplies are going out the back. Friendly gentleman that sold everything to you is just eagerly watching as you pack stuff up. You seem like an exuberant customer, and wow, what a pitch. From the inside, though, of the two trucks, Edie, you're going to drive one of them. Who's going to drive the other?
I'm gonna.
not especially a good driver.
I don't think anyone is. I would say you two are probably capable of driving, especially yourself. You have driven in New York before, but
New
this
York
is like
mostly trains. And...
All right, okay. Is anyone capable of driving?
I'm just gonna do it, and I think that I clarified that Jose doesn't really know how to drive, so he's just gonna. But we need a move, so he's gonna point it and go.
Okay, all
I
right.
think we should just
I'm
take the
gonna
one
go-
truck.
We can reevaluate once we get out of
No,
town.
I think it's fine. I will lead. You just follow me.
Alright.
Okay, all right.
Country roads. It'll
Yes.
be
Take
fine.
me home.
You're
How
fine, Edie. You're
yeah.
capable of driving this, and you have the skill to do so. But this whole area is turned into mud. Heavy snowfall from the side means they just sort of shove it off the edges. There's no pavement or what do you mean? Not tarmac. The other word for it. Anyway, for easy driving, you will need to make a drive auto test. You can take advantage though, as Edie is going to direct you around, and you're just following a path. But this is a days of this is absolutely a manual, and it's a mountaineering truck. It's probably got some extra bits and bobs and jangles.
I'm gonna give you 6 points of luck.
I will
And I'm
take
gonna
your 6
succeed.
points of luck, thank you. Okay, it jerks forward at the start and then stalls heavily, but you just sort of wrench it through the first few gears, and by the time you're moving quickly enough, you're either rolling or under power, you're not really sure, but you're going, and forward, so that's good. You're able to both pull out, and as you leave Socrates, bound for Woodstock, whatever's happening in the distance is left behind you. You might not want to come back here for a little while, or when you do, you might want to have your story straight. But as you move out down the open roads, it's about a few hour drive until you get there. I'd say probably 3 or 4. It was midday when you left, it'll probably be early afternoon. Now, you're driving the one who's with you in the cabin. Okay, and the two of you are in the other. So there's still been no chance to explain what's happened recently. And as the two of you are going, you adjust your rear view mirror, and you can see movement back there and a bit of, flashing lights and things, enough to imply that something of significance has happened. What are you guys talking about? What's your first thoughts at least?
I didn't quite get that. Was there some kind of rush while we had to leave right now?
I think those two got them into some trouble, sir.
Oh dear. As they are wont to do.
Yes.
Let's be honest
yes.
here.
Now I don't want Van de Ven to get worried, so I immediately try to change the subject. But on the plus side, we do have the bathtub, sir.
Yes, that'll be quite nice, getting in the tub with the sunrise over the mountains.
Absolutely.
That'll be quite nice.
And we can heat water on a campfire, I'm sure. Yeah, and that seems like it'll work. Did we pack matches?
It'll be in the supplies. That gentleman was very friendly. I'm sure he threw in a couple of extras.
Well, you spoke to him very well, sir.
Oh, well, thank you. Paid him very well, too. Probably fed his family for a month,
Absolutely. You're very kind, sir.
Yeah, okay, so quickly the discussion shifts to just talking about trivialities and the bathtub above and how forward you are looking to be reacquainted with. What was your duck's name again?
Sir
Ronald?
Thomas.
Sir Thomas or something? Yeah, that's right. How about the two of you? Were either of you badly injured during the...
I don't think. I think I'm fine.
I think you are as
I
well.
got punched and knocked about a bit, but I'm okay.
You're actually not too bad. Okay, alright, so as Edie's driving, you're going over, it's a bit tender. Do you want to try and first aid yourself? It will be harder. Or do you want to just leave it until someone else can take a look at it?
I wouldn't bother.
I got black eye. This is how I want my sister to see me for the first time in ages. Black eye, cut on the cheek.
Yeah.
Just being like, yeah.
Healthy bit of blood from when that dude's arm got chewed off underneath the tires.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, so you sort of cross a little bit.
I might
And
get
lastly,
changed before.
in your coat pocket, where you've got your gun in the holster, and then just above it, you've got basically a crumpled pile of ash and the last scrap of paper from your sister's letter.
Alright.
How come it's not burnt?
I was
David?
going to tear it off.
Really?
I just
That's
didn't
very
get there.
funny.
Yeah, I was going to tear off the top of it, and I was like,
I thought
seems
for the
mean.
benefit.
Too nice a prop to hurt.
I thought for the benefit of
it's a better
viewers.
prop if you tear it up.
Don't. No, it's like laminated.
No, tear it,
It'll-
tear it, but leave the last two lines, the last little paragraph, and the tear it.
And then give it to
tear
Daniel.
it,
It got torn in half?
Yeah. Tear it.
So wait. Say a badass line that they would have said beforehand.
No, it got burnt in the fire.
Yeah, but no, they tore it up before they chucked it in.
Before they threw it in, right?
Yeah.
What did they say? They said something.
It's like, well, they were basically saying they were threatening to go and pay your sister a visit, probably attack someone. They were very unfriendly. Thank you, Jackson. Excellent.
Should have done it more violently.
No, I thought that was good.
No, I think it's good.
So do I have the last 2 lines?
So unnecessary.
Christ!
And that one can get. Check that one.
We're
out.
safety glasses.
These things
Things
are
being
flying
frisbeed
everywhere.
around. This is rapidly devolving.
Yeah, this
Children.
This is now this is the least controlled session we've ever had. We're throwing things around.
Immediately
Driving
frisbee.
cars into houses.
Don't need these eyes. I'm only the most proficient driver
You
in the
have
party.
2 pairs of glasses. Mate.
These don't do anyway.
All right.
Ah,
You got a couple of hours of driving. No pullover. Are you guys going to touch base when you get to Woodstock?
We're definitely going to Woodstock.
They're not pulling over.
I thought we discussed this.
yeah, we're leaving.
I think we should.
I think we
keep
should go
going.
straight to Woodstock.
Yeah, I
I,
think
don't
so.
think we have any reason to stop
What
beforehand.
time is it? Like the afternoon?
Yeah, it was like midday when you left. It was probably a few hour drive. So
I don't know. That's okay.
early
The
hour.
quicker we can establish an alibi there, the better.
Yeah, we were here all week.
We were in Woodstock for the last half day.
We'll get the.
With their car.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh yeah, we gotta dump this fucking car. or
Yeah, we'll take
something.
it up to the wherever the pass is. We'll be fine.
So if they're not going to pull over, I need to ask you. Do you know how to change gears?
Well,
We've been on 3rd for.
you give that thing a bit of a wiggle, don't you?
Last time I tried to wiggle it, we stopped.
Oh yeah, don't do that again.
Okay, well, I was going to push harder on the. Okay.
Do you want me to?
You hold this.
You can just hear the whole red lining the whole way down the road.
This is the good car too.
It's also filled with gear. Everything's bouncing along. It's one of the least comfortable drives you've ever had, Mr. Vanderbilt.
But it's an adventure.
Oh boy, howdy is it?
That's
all right.
one word for it.
After a couple hours, you've driven several miles and you are out of Saugerties, bound towards Woodstock. This is more in the foothills of the Catskill Mountains, and you are actually doing quite a bit. Yeah, that'd be cool. And you're actually doing quite a bit of heading up along roads and then rounding corners. It is slow progressing. So they were at number 9 in the bottom right there,
Yeah.
and they are bound for number 10. So you can see the path they will take through all of this. Yep. And
Yeah, it looks like
near the
it's
little red
easily-
dots in the start. After a while, you begin to wind further up and you begin to move into the area of Woodstock. This section has a few factories and quarries, not dissimilar to Saugerties, but they are also shut down in the same vein as the larger village. And you can see they have a lot of what were once resort houses, I guess. Chalets where people could go skiing from, or they could hike up to and then spend a couple of weeks amongst the wildlife and nature. Now, the town itself is a fairly small area. There's a couple of general stores and things, place where you get supplies or send postcards from. Any mail delivery probably leaves not very frequently, and there is a single telephone line which heads back the way you came and seems to be mercifully connected. There should be some sort of communication to the wider world from here. The institute itself you believe to be somewhere around here, higher up, but you probably need to stop and get directions. So, as Edie pulls alongside, having just gotten into the smaller town, there's a much lurchier stop from the second vehicle, which pulls in behind them, and then a soft, just to let them know that you've arrived and are stopped.
Alrighty, is there a hotel nearby? Because we're gonna be here. I imagine we'll be here overnight.
There's probably like a small local motel or something. Oh, it wouldn't be a motel because they need to be on the side of a motorway for that. So yes, just a small hotel.
Okay. Well, do you think we're gonna be here overnight, or do you want to just drop in and keep going? Like, what are you feeling?
What's the time?
2 p.m.
Oh, there you go.
We got time. Let's just go. Let's go up there.
Okay.
I think.
We should flag down the others.
They stop behind
At
us.
that point, I knock on the window. Hello? That was quite a ride.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's alright.
We're still sitting in the cab. The car looking at it.
What happened? How did you get this car?
It's a long story.
It's not.
It's a bad story.
It's fine. We should tell them. We can't.
Yeah.
So, DeMartino got kidnapped by some mean people.
Oh no, is he alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh,
Apart from the shiner.
good.
Any of you know first aid? Because
Yeah, I do know first aid.
No,
if
I
we're about to start talking about crimes and.
Oh yeah. So
Why don't the two of you get us into a hotel and I'll stay with DeMartino? I'll make sure he's okay. and
we don't
can
need a
take the
hotel.
car.
We just need directions to the institute.
and
well-
then we probably should keep moving.
You should probably not go in and ask for directions of a giant black eye. Let me tend to you. These two can get directions.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. For the full story, we went and looking for the Weblin brothers, who led who took Fontanelli up into the hills, and they weren't too happy to see us. We had a bit of a rough and tumble with them, and which ended up with the car crashing into the side of their house.
Yeah.
And
It was a vehicular rough and tumble.
yeah, it was not great.
Was anyone seriously hurt?
Yeah.
I didn't personally see any.
They'll probably be okay. The ambulance was coming when we left.
We should
so-
probably just not go back through
Yeah.
Socrates.
I'll linger with my eyes on the blood all over your shirt and go, alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I left my nice clothes at the hotel.
I think that's too bad.
Yes.
We'll sort something else.
It is too bad.
Yeah, do you guys want to go get directions to the institute? And,
What was it called? What was it called?
oh, I don't know. It's not
Oh,
my letter
God.
anymore. There's some paralogical society.
Is there like a watermark that I can use?
Yeah, on the top.
Yeah, I imagine if you ask for the paralogical,
Paralogical?
parapsychological, something
Yes,
like
I think
that.
I don't
I
think
ain't too
paralogical's
good
a
with
word.
words. Is an institute. I think.
Alright.
How many
Paralegal.
institutes are there going to be in this town? Like,
Which way is the secret research facility?
yeah, that's what you go ask people.
Okay.
Um,
Alright,
yeah.
Sanatorium might be the best way. to
Yeah.
do it.
No, it's not a sanatorium. It's for people with. They're not crazy. They're not crazy.
Okay. So I misunderstood.
But it's
Yeah,
an
you did.
institute.
It's an institute
Okay.
for studying people who are different.
Okay. Well, we'll go to there's a hotel. We can go ask for a concierge. Yeah, we'll go ask for directions.
Okay. So two of you are going to go get directions and you're going to patch him up. Do you want to give me a first aid roll? As you do, do you push any further for more information from him, or are you just going to let him keep
No,
his silence?
I don't. I just treat him. Yeah.
Yep, go for it. Make a first aid check for me, please.
That's a fail. So I don't think there's much I can do. I sort of poke
Yeah.
at the eye. I'm sorry. There's.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a stake, the chick on it.
You're working between the hangover and the hangover is probably on the other side now. Now it's just a pounding headache from when you got punched. Yeah. It's been a rough day. Alright, the two of you head into the tiny hotel. It's all one level. The actual rooms themselves aren't in here. They're out the back where there's a couple of small little lodges that jut up along the foothills and paths that wind between them. There's no one at the front desk, but a bell can be rung and someone emerges from the other side, steps forward and seems genuinely fairly surprised to see anyone. You go, oh, hi.
Hi, we're not staying long. We're just looking for some directions.
Oh, their face falls in. Alright, of course. Sure, where can I help?
Well, we're looking for the place where they put the, what did you say? The not crazy people.
We're looking for the institute.
Oh,
We have family there.
yeah, no, I guess so. I guess I would have thought you could have just read my mind, huh? And he goes along his desk, he's fetching something.
Why is that?
Well, isn't that what they test there?
Really?
EPS or whatever?
Oh,
Extra those that, people that can, like, see your thoughts or read your
Oh, well, we're
dreams
not
or...
checking in. We're just visiting.
Oh, alright, well, best of luck. Hey, they're not too far from here. Passes over. Oh, actually, he probably just refers to your map and just puts a finger down. It's only a little bit further north, probably a mile or so. He goes, no, they're just here. Yeah. Well, look, if you're staying in town, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, we'll definitely consider it on our way back.
It's a charming area. Really
We have
great
to,
view of the foothills.
We're up to a trip up the mountain, but maybe we'll stop in on the way back. Now, is that en route to the Devil's Pass?
There's the Mink Pass. I think that
I
we
think
off
we're
road.
still-
I think you can get there. Yeah, eventually.
We're actually fairly still kind of far away from that.
If you're heading up that way, we sell supplies as well.
Oh,
yeah.
we all loaded up from Socrates, but thank
Oh.
you.
What kind of supplies?
Camping equipment, ropes and
Cool.
matches and things.
We'll definitely consider it after we look at what we've got.
Great. Okay, appreciate it. Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Do you know? It's a Sunday? It's a Sunday, right?
It's still a Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know if the institute is open on Sundays? It's definitely not shut for whatever reason. Just in case.
Well, I think people are still psychic on Sundays.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay.
Good to hear.
That's
To
good.
hear. I'll make a note of that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for your help. No, it's...
We do just breakfast.
Oh no, that's
yeah,
fine.
well, it's 2 p.m.
We can turn it into brunch. Or
Oh, well,
Breakfast
you know
and
what?
lunch at the same time?
it replaces both.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've never heard of that Van de Ven?
No.
A man of your...
Do you have two of them to
No,
make
you
up
just,
with the
no,
both
it's
of them?
just the one. You just have breakfast kind of later on. You've never done
It's
that?
fascinating.
'Cause I
how
feel
the
like
other
you
kind
would have
of-
done that.
Oh yeah, brunch is the one between breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Anyway, we might come back.
If you're traveling with a party, we can offer a discount.
Do you do that often? Did you have a party come through here recently?
No.
No. Alright. Well, that's fine. Thank you for the directions.
That's all right.
Let's see what's appropriate. $8?
Oh,
I don't know.
thank you. Well, you guys have a charming trip, and if you're stopping by, we'd love to have you.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
Have a good day.
You too.
He seems to
Cool.
chirp up a lot more once there's money changing hands.
Van de Ven's real superpower.
If I just give you money to stop being annoyed.
That's what they do, right? They tip everyone.
Yeah, but
That's why they get away with being,
That's not
a dick.
explained.
All right. By the time you get outside, Jose has wrapped a bandage around Nick's head. He knows what it's doing, but gosh, do you look healthier?
We have also packed all of the supplies properly instead of
Oh, okay,
running
yeah,
like
you
around.
put stuff under benches and
I would-
things, strap stuff down.
Do you think we're missing anything? Because the dude at the hotel happens to sell stuff.
Well, we left about a third of the, well, 2/3 of what we bought.
We did?
Oh, we didn't have time to pack it.
Oh.
So, yes, we're missing things, but I'm afraid I couldn't tell you what we're missing.
It's okay, we can always come back if we think we need something. It's there if we need it.
Well, do we have time to sit down and figure it out, or is it important that we keep moving right now?
Well, what do you want to do?
I suppose I'm not pressed by time, but I don't know. The commotion we caused in Socrates, partnered with the fact that every hour we spend waiting, August and Fontanelli are getting further away from us. You know?
Well, maybe, I guess we could split up if we really wanted to take an inventory. But
I don't honestly.
really fast.
None of us are especially
Doesn't-
good at it.
None
either.
of you really have the skills required
Yeah.
to take
Like-
inventory.
like
it
we
looks
all-
like
we're all
there's
looking
tons of stuff here.
I'm just looking at piles of supplies. I'm like, looks like enough food, I
Yeah.
guess. Like,
We got canned tuna, it's fine.
there's food and ropes
Oh,
and
lobster.
yeah.
Where's the jelly?
There's some food and ropes and coats. I don't know what else we'll need.
Okay, we could all just go then.
Yeah, I like.
Are you cool with us coming to the place? To the
I mean, yeah,
institute? Alright.
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
No, if you need us to stay outside, we can. Whatever is more comfortable for you.
No. Well, we'll see when we get there.
Also, could you stop mentioning that we were in Socrates? just don't bring it up.
Alrighty. We were in Socrates, but maybe
Yeah.
you weren't.
Just don't say it.
Okay.
You might want to alert your lawyers that the place that you went to has had an incident.
There was an incident there, yeah, at the same time we were. Nothing suspicious about that. They'll see it that way. Good idea, Jose.
The one thing we got going for us is I don't think the Weblands are going to be too cooperative with the police.
Or money enough to afford lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The system works.
I suppose.
I'm sure
Capital.
the man at the hotel will have a telephone you can use to alert your attorneys.
Yeah, maybe we should do that now. That'd be fine. I'll do that. I'll jump back in.
You head inside. All right. You have a quick call with, I think it was Peter, or no, Percy.
Yeah, Peter.
Peter, your lawyer. He's eager to hear from you, especially after the weird conversation that he half remembers from last night when you called him very late. Touch base. You're going to tell him that you're now staying in Woodstock. Is that the plan, or that you
we're
are?
not staying. We're on the way up the mountains.
Okay,
so
all right.
We'll be docked for a few days.
Yeah, I don't think we're staying overnight.
Okay. Do you mention the catastrophe?
I think so.
Okay. He's not.
Some folks got entangled in some kind of incident down while we were at Socrates. But we were just leaving, so.
If
no
he's
trouble there.
unhappy, he disguises it, and you don't hear it. So it seems fine. He seems to note it down. He confirms Jose is still with you.
Mm-hmm.
He also wants to know if Jose was involved in the incident.
No. We were the other side of town.
Was he with you the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably fine. Yeah. All right. No worries. We'll work something out. Okay. And they'll send you off. If you can touch base again as soon as possible, that'd be good.
Sure.
Just make sure you don't get lost in the woods or anything. Apart
You
from
want to do that?
good to go.
Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good week. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Don't work too hard.
I will.
All right.
You hang up. The same poor hotel attendant, I guess, or owner, watches you leave. I presume. Do you tip him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
$2?
He's
Right.
very excited to see you come and go. You made another friend. Look how popular you are.
It's easy. I don't know why everyone just doesn't get along. If everyone had my manners, we wouldn't have any world wars anymore.
Oh, God.
All right. Outside, you guys are ready to go. So head up to Woodstock. Or
Yeah.
The
Institute.
The Institute, yeah.
Okay, you pile into the 2 cars and driving up this way. You're beginning to get the feel for the engine. Hey, this is kind of fun. Maybe there's something to this driving thing. And you wind up. It's only about a half a mile out. There's a bunch of these different resorts. Many of the signs that point off to them are given over to disrepair and no longer in use. And eventually you come to one which has been painted over quite some time ago to read the Slater Institute for Parapsychological Studies. A second piece of wood has had to be put under the first to fit the full name. This is a fairly nice little 2-story resort. It's at the top of a hill and it looks down over all of Woodstock. There's a little cabin nearby, which seems to be separate from the main building, and dotted around it there are a few little groves of trees with benches under them, a little lake that is still sort of not frozen, but you can see bits of snow around the edges, and a little group of ducks going around the center of it. It seems to be a fairly nice, pleasant area. The grass is beginning to come back in now as it warms up, and the second story you can see one of the rooms has a light on even during the day. Just someone reading or something else.
Is there anyone outside that walking around the grounds or anything?
There is an old woman and an old man who are walking hand in hand. One's carrying a rake, the other one has a sort of a garbage bag and a shovel, and they're moving about collecting dropped leaves or something so they can be disposed of. They're towards the back, but they'd probably eventually slowly making their way down towards you. There's no large turnarounds. They probably don't get vehicles this size very frequently, but you can just park off the road a little bit. There's actually probably just a single small vehicle to the side, like a personal car. Pretty basic.
Okay.
Pretty simple. No gates or anything as you've gone through. No visible security. The door at the front seems to have a little welcome mat out the front of it. And says above it says Slater Institute.
Alright. Let's go check this out then.
Well, I just realized we never asked. Is your sister here because she wants to be here, or was that decision made for her?
To be honest, she's been moved around so much, I don't even know anymore. I think in the letter she seems pretty happy about it, but I think I don't trust this letter. You know, I think there's something up. You know, I don't know. Well, let's find out. Keep your eyes out though.
Does she have? Are your parents still around? If you don't mind me asking.
No, they're long gone.
So, who manages her affairs?
She does, I guess, and in part me.
So she doesn't have like a legal guardian or anything.
She's my age. She's 38 years old.
Okay, sorry. I was like, how old?
36.
Okay, all right. Okay, well,
She's an adult.
yeah. Okay, well, I guess we can only find out how she is. We may as well go talk to her.
If she don't want to be here, though, we should take her away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay. We're all okay with that. Yeah, that's kind of why we're here.
Sure.
If she's being held against her will,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course. Yeah, we can just break her out of this facility.
Well, we shouldn't have to.
Oh, okay.
If she doesn't want to be here, they can't keep her here.
That's fine.
That
Although
is perfectly reasonable.
we probably have to pick her up on the way back. You don't want to take her up to the mountains to tangle with these dangerous folks, do you?
Let's sort that out. Let's just go talk to her and see what she's up. What's up?
No, Mr. Van der Van got me out of somewhere I don't want to be. He can do it again.
I go to the door. Is the door open or locked or closed? Or?
It's set up. It's a double set of doors. You push on one. There's a moment where you think it's locked, but it's just because it's the door they keep locked. And the other one, pull on it, swings open. Inside, it's warm. There's a fire over in one direction. You can see two gentlemen sitting in front of it. One with sandy blonde hair, and the other one with dark, slicked back. They're playing a game of cards. The blonde-haired gentleman seems to be losing, and a young red-headed woman is curled up on a couch nearby reading a book. From upstairs you can hear footsteps as someone walks along the level above, but apart from that it's fairly peaceful here, fairly quiet.
Are these people dressed like normally?
They're dressed in casual clothes. One has a jumper pulled on for the cold weather. The other two are just sitting in pants and shirt. They seem fairly friendly. As you step inside, there's a little bell that dingles above you, denoting you come in, and before you there is a set of stairs leading up. To the left and right there's doors towards other rooms, and then there's the larger common area. There's no reception desk or anything, probably wouldn't really warrant one, but you draw attention as you step in. The two gentlemen playing cards, the blonde haired is looking away from you, but the gentleman with darker hair sees you, sort of looks around, no one's there, drops his cards down and pats his hands and comes up towards you and says, "Hi, how are you going? Are you here to see someone, or are you here to check yourselves in?"
Nick DeMartino.
Pleased to meet you, Ted Pope.
Nice
How
to
you
meet
going,
Mr.
DeMartino?
Pope. I'm looking for my sister. I believe she's here.
He looks over and he goes, "Carol?" And the woman looks up and sees you, and she puts her book down, looks at you, and then she's gonna scurry up the stairs and away. He looks around and goes, "I guess not. Not many other people here. I can get the director. He might have some more, or sorry, she might have some more information."
Yeah, there's no Nora DeMartino here.
Not since I got here, buddy. Sorry.
When did you? Yeah, she should be here.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I got here like 3 days ago.
Okay, that's very recent.
Yeah. Well, I'm only here for a bit. Sorry, you're just seeing your sister? Is this... Gosh, big family, huh?
Oh, just friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Right.
So you do work here, right? You haven't checked yourself
No.
yet? Oh.
No.
Right.
I got...
Maybe that was my misunderstanding.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Yeah,
Who
no.
does work here?
The director.
If
You said the
people-
director.
Yeah, the director.
Yeah,
Dr.
can you
Kalasham.
Can you get the director for us?
Sure.
I want to talk to him.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Well, why don't you have a seat, I guess. See you in a bit.
So you said the redhead girl
Yeah,
ran
she darted upstairs. As he heads towards the stairs, she's coming back down. She is trailing a taller woman, a bit more severe looking, with round glasses and hair pulled into a tight bun. She is wearing a white coat over a fairly simple black getup, and she's carrying a book which she's holding in her hands. As she passes it back and forth, the red-haired woman, whispers in her ear, and she looks up and she sees the three of you and sees you, and you can see there is a reaction.
Can I try and get a catch what they're whispering about?
Yeah, make a listen check. Gonna be hard for the distance.
That is a success. No, that's a regular success, so not a hard success. No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear, they are definitely trying to keep it to themselves, and it is not... Actually, the woman is definitely speaking more to the director, you presume. It's a one-sided conversation. The director's not really responding.
One last thing, could I try and get the title of the book?
Yeah, make a spot hidden check.
I'm going to give you a couple of points of luck. Let me just figure out exactly how many.
Sure.
Yeah, a couple of points of luck. Actually, no, I'll fail that. Sorry.
Okay,
Gonna
alright.
fly.
It looks... I don't want to say handmade. It's a journal of some description.
Cool.
It's not a published thick tome.
Cool.
She comes down and she looks at all of you and she sees you and she goes, "Hi, I'm Dr. Kalasham.
Nick DeMartino, how do you do?
Pleased to meet you, Mr. DeMartino. I presume you're here to see your sister.
Yeah. Is she here?
Why don't we step out here? We can speak privately. Are these friends of yours?"
Yeah. Look, anything you can say to me, you can say to them.
I'm sure that's true, but I'd like to tell it to you first, and then you can decide what you'd wish to share. If you'd like, you can take in the grounds, or you're free to join the others with a game of cards.
Why don't we just wait right here?
Okay.
It's not going to take very long, right?
We better talk.
I'll go for a stroll. Could take in the grounds.
Very well. She turns to thank you, Carol, and Ted sits back down with the other one, and they're playing cards, although they are very clearly eavesdropping. They're just curious. They play cards, and they're just sort of absently picking up something from the center of the deck and putting it into their hands. Chaosium walks around the corner where she opens a door, and inside there's a nicely made office. It looks out onto the gardens, where you can see the old woman and gentleman now walking along the pond. They've taken a seat at the bench, and the woman's produced a piece of bread, and she's throwing it to the ducks. The woman closes the door behind you and says, Mr. DeMartino, take a seat.
I do.
Right. She moves around the outside to her desk, and she sits down and sort of pushes her fingers together, taking a moment to think, and says, your sister was with us until very recently. You haven't gotten any word from her, have you? She hasn't visited you in Brooklyn?
No, she hasn't visited me in Brooklyn for ever.
Right, well, I'm sorry to tell you this. We don't know where she is.
What do you mean you don't know where she is?
Well, she was here until recently. She was doing very well. We were going through some new tests. Dr. Winslow thought he was making great progress.
Don't you have to take some sort of responsibility for her?
We do, Mr. DeMartino.
So where is she? Why don't you know where she is?
We're searching. We had hoped she was with you. We sent a letter.
No, she's not with me.
Mr. DeMartino, I'll ask you to keep your voice down. There are people here that they need the quiet. They need the peace. As your sister did, I'll ask you to respect that. Now, I understand this is frustrating, and I understand it is shameful. It is with great regret. We never meant for this to happen, but understand that people aren't held here against their will. They're free to leave. If she chose to leave, that was within her power.
Can I psychology check her to see if she is telling the truth, essentially, or if she's hiding anything? Oof, I'm gonna take 5 points of luck to succeed that check.
Okay. She is genuinely regretful.
Okay.
But there's more to this. And she's trying to gauge you probably before she goes into it a whole lot. She's trying to get a feel. This is the initial, getting an eye for you as you are for her. She's aware what you're probably trying to read her, and she works at a parapsychologist. She's probably getting a pretty good read for you as well. She says, look, we're obviously deeply sorry, and we've contacted the local authorities. We're having a look around, but she's allowed to go.
Yeah, I understand that. I failed my sister a long time ago, and I don't want to fail her again. If you have any clue where she is, I just want to help her. Just want to make sure she's okay.
We don't know, but I understand you're a detective. Your sister was very proud of you. If you'd like to have a look around, we'd be honored to have you. We'll house you here for the time being, and you can search for your sister. If you can, there's been others in the past. We were not expecting you here, and the timing is strange. Did your sister reach out to you?
I pause for a second, and then I go, yes. She sent me a letter.
I understand the people that are here, they can see things. I believe they can. They can gauge more than we. They're more in tune with something that you and I are not. As a result of that, there are stories that fold through, people that think they see ghosts or otherwise. They can be a danger to themselves, but they're not held here against their will. We've had those in the past that have left. We believed at the time that they merely checked themselves out, but looking into it, they haven't gone home. If you're willing, we'd appreciate your assistance.
Then you'll have it.
Thank you, Detective DeMartino.
How many people are here?
Now,
Yeah.
only 3 patients.
The 2 men and Carol.
That's right. There's
And what about
Dr. Winslow, he works with me. He's an expert in dream research. There's also the 2 caretakers.
Okay. Alright. Look, I'll need to take a look around and I might have to leave, but I'll be back if I don't know. Well, I just need to take a look around.
Of course, if you need a moment, I can speak with your friends.
Yeah, let me talk to them alone first.
Very well. I'll have a room set up so that you can stay here for as long as you need.
Okay.
Thank you again, Detective. We hope you find your sister. And
Nice.
if you can help us, we'd appreciate it as well.
Okay.
She steps up and she walks past her. She puts one hand on your shoulder. She walks away. She squeezes it slightly, and then she heads outside, leaving the door open so you can exit. As you look out, the gentleman's standing up, helping his wife to her feet, and they're beginning to continue their walk and collect more leaves. Outside, you've headed off to have a quick look
I've
around.
gone for a stroll.
Walking outside, it is bracing in that sort of actually quite nice. For walking, you take a deep breath and it fills your lungs. You bury your hands in your pockets and you begin to pace the ground. Are you looking for anything in particular, or
Yes.
just going for a wander?
I'm looking for people. I'm going to go to every person that I spot and have a quick conversation with them.
Okay.
And it's all the same thing. It's just a very polite, hello, how you doing? Sorry to interrupt you. Does the name Leopold Fontanelli mean anything to you? And then I'm going to gauge their reaction,
Okay.
no matter what they say.
There's only the 2 caretakers nearby. You could head back down into Woodstock. You actually probably could walk it. It'd be like a 20-minute walk down and a 30-minute walk back up if you'd wish to.
I don't want to go that far.
Okay.
I'll go to the caretakers and then I'll, if there's no one else in the grounds, I'll head back inside.
Okay, heading towards them, you introduce yourself and they say, well, pleased to meet you. I'm Joseph Drummer and this is my charming wife, Lydia. Sorry, what was the name again? Fonta something?
Fontanelli, Leopold Fontanelli.
Well, I don't think so. He looks at his wife. Sorry, we don't get many papers here and we're not really keeping abreast of the news too closely. Is he a celebrity or something?
Can I psychology then?
Go for it.
That is a success.
The name genuinely doesn't seem to strike any notes with
Okay.
them. They don't appear to be familiar.
What about the name Ferdinand Argus?
She looks at him. No, I don't think so. I'm sorry. Is it a friend of yours?
Something like that. Thank you for your time. Sorry to have bothered you.
Right. And then as you're going, the gentleman stops and goes, sorry, just curious is all, what brings you here?
Oh, just visiting someone.
Oh, excellent. Well, it's nice to see visitors and it's nice to see folks who care.
Yes. Are you one of the are you studying here? I suppose.
No. We're just caretakers. We live down in Woodstock and I guess we just like to see people improving. That's all. We've worked here for, yonks now.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're here with the previous director when he opened the whole place, and I guess we see this as a second home.
Wow, that's you didn't know Nora DeMartino, did you?
Nora, yeah, of course we did. Yeah, shame to see her go, but hell, I guess if she's feeling better or not.
She wasn't talking to anyone before she left, was she?
Talking to anyone, she was a social enough gal. I had a conversation with her or two in the past. I like to tell her stories and such, and I think she was close with, Carol. And, moving through her paces. No, friendly enough kid.
Great. Well, thanks very much.
Of course. Have a good one.
Sure. Lee, go back inside.
Okay. What are the 2 of you?
I'm gonna hang out near the fire. Where it's like the other 3 people are here.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? Are you doing anything
I
in
don't
particular?
know.
Because okay. I think I'm gonna hang out by the fire, and as time goes along, I wasn't really gonna speak to these people, but I get kind of bored, and I just kind of say like, so are you Do you guys live here?
Well, we're visiting, I suppose. The one with the slick back hair, Ted Pope, definitely is the most eager to talk and kind of bowls over the others unless they are given the opportunity to.
Right.
Says, well, I'm only here for probably a few days. I've already had suspicions that I might have some abilities, I guess you could say. Yeah.
I think I've been interested the whole time.
And you just want.
I'm enjoying
you're
it.
here as well.
Okay, yeah, I go.
What can you do?
He immediately puts his cards down. He goes, yeah. Well, gosh, I mean, some call it a gift. I call it a natural ability. I used to work down on Coney Island. I'd run little games, I guess, and guess your weight. And hey, I guess I'm just pretty good at it.
Do me.
All right. He looks at you and he goes, all right. I can do you, but fortunately, just the way it works, I'm gonna need a coin or two.
Oh, of course. I think I've got
A
like
coin.
a silver dollar.
Yep. He takes it.
Oh no, wait, no, I don't carry coins.
Okay, yeah.
I
He'll take
give
bills
him
probably.
a
We
coin.
established
Okay.
that last
I'm
episode.
Yeah, I think
sorry.
so.
Sorry to say.
I give the man a coin.
He takes a coin or two and checks it and then puts it in a pocket. He goes, all right. I'm getting. What's your weight? Do you reckon?
I didn't write it down. I rolled
Vague.
stocky.
Yeah. Oh,
What does
stocky.
stocky mean?
I think stocky's like
Broad and
70
broad
or
shouldered.
something.
I don't know if you.
80.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. 80 kilos.
Up to you.
What's your size?
Basically, he gets it unerringly accurate. In
Oh,
fact,
he does.
he gets it and he adds a pound, and you're like, well, that's not right. But you have been having a bit of, you had a hearty fish dinner last night, and maybe
That's
that is
true.
right. No, he seems to be genuinely capable of being pretty accurate. He looks pleased with himself when you see.
That's amazing.
Yeah, gosh, astounding, I suppose.
Wow.
Nah, I'll do you. And he holds out a hand.
Give him a coin.
All right, he closes his eyes as part of his. That's a D8. He closes his eyes, and once again, pretty much bang on. Guesses your weight.
Can
He goes-
you do other objects, or is it just people?
Other objects don't pay as well, so I tend to do people. They've got coins in their pockets.
What about like animals?
Again, not big on currency.
Oh,
So why are you here if you already know you can?
Well, I know what I can do. I don't know where it goes. I don't know why. And people pay to study me. So I, figured I'd stay here for a couple of weeks.
What about the others? Do they have any kind of like?
Yeah. And he points to Carol and goes, Carol, well, she thinks she can dream real well. Thinks she can sneak into yours sometimes. I haven't seen her. Not unless I wanted to.
What about it was Nora.
Nora.
What was her deal?
Nora was a little weird, for what it's worth. Yeah, she seems pretty capable. She did a lot more testing than we was. Wasn't real open about what she had the ability to or wouldn't do. Sometimes we do little showcases, little show and tells, and she never really wanted to be involved. You know how it is.
You didn't like overhear any like telekinesis,
Well,
touching
I mean,
stuff, or
we talk, we
Speaking-
hear. Look, I'm pretty sure she could see what you were thinking, and she'd do it better than you did. That's what I heard. That's what I saw. I also think drove her a little loopy in the long run. I guess you spend that much time in someone else's head, you don't know how to get back in your own.
right.
Yeah.
I see.
He seems pretty pleased with the whole thing.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He seems genuine. Like should I check if he's? But he seems like he would.
There's probably a level of he might be extrapolating, but he seems very eager to talk.
Yeah. Okay.
sometimes when I get up in the morning, there's a ringing in my ears.
Yeah.
It sometimes means it's gonna rain.
Hey, that might be the start of something.
I think it could be.
Yeah.
Maybe I should check myself in. Maybe stay a few days.
Well, yeah,
See what I
hey,
can do.
hey,
You know,
yeah.
it's a little bit of a swelling right here. Just
No,
just behind the
I
wall.
get that sometimes. Right
You
back
do
there.
as well?
Yeah. Stings like nothing.
Well, why
Hey,
would I?
you should talk to the doctor.
Yeah,
Sure.
maybe after.
Yeah, no,
Speak to
now.
DeMartino.
Hey, he's not doing nothing. I'll go grab him.
Oh. Well.
Yeah. Hey, you sit there. And he hops up. He hops up and begins to charge towards the stairs.
Cool. I'm gonna.
He does the come back and he goes like, a minute, and then swings around the edge.
So he's leaving.
Yeah, he
cool.
does off.
I'm gonna say let's go check on José right now.
As Jose comes back in the doors.
Okay, cool, good. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. And DeMartino still isn't out?
No.
Oh, we got an appointment with the doctor.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
it
that's-
might be
that's-
worthwhile me hanging around for a little longer. You know, I always told you that swelling in my ear before it rains.
Is your Atlantean powers?
Oh yeah. Well, you know,
great.
we could be onto something. Maybe these folks can tell us a little more about it.
Well, of course. I mean, if you want to explore your powers, but remember, sir, you shouldn't let them exploit your powers for evil.
No, of course. That's very important to remember. Thank you, Jose. That's why I keep you around. You're the responsible one.
I think as this happens, the door opens. Dr. Calashem steps out, and then Nick, shortly behind her. She steps aside and gives you the privacy so that you can talk to them first. She heads over and sits next to Carol and the blonde gentleman and just sort of idle conversation, but she's clearly watching you as it happens, keeping an eye on and waiting so that she can step up and introduce herself to it. It's the like, you introduce me and then I'll come over kind of thing.
Alright. Okay.
So you're telling us what you just heard?
Yeah, so, hey, folks,
Hello.
thanks for coming up here. I appreciate it.
What was
Detective Nick Martino. So, firstly, my sister isn't here anymore. She left of her own accord.
How long ago was that?
A few days. Look,
But before she said,
there's something I gotta tell you guys before we continue. I've been a little vague, but I'm gonna come clean. Look, my sister, she could get in your head. She could see what you're thinking, and she knew when you were lying.
Oh. So
And-
he was telling them. Wow, okay.
Yeah. And when we were quite young, my parents organized for her to get taken away. And she's flipped around between a few of these places. It's real, I swear. Look, I'm not making this up. She could genuinely see what you were thinking. And look, these guys have been, a few of their patients have been going missing recently. All with sort of powers like this. It's a bit strange.
seems like just the sort of thing Fontanelli and Argus would be interested in.
Exactly. Look,
There was a.
Talked about things being linked to Atlantean. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's not that important. Well, one of the. You know how Argus was kind of into dreaming and stuff?
yeah,
Past
the
li- was
doctor's
it
big.
the- Hang on, am I getting that confused with past lives?
No, hypnosis.
No,
There's
August-
into hypnosis and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's trials.
Right. Because there are people here who can do stuff too. Like, there's apparently a lady who can dream walk and.
Mhm. Look, they offered us to have a place to stay here if we want to help figure this out, but
Tempting.
Do we have time?
I can see that we might not.
Well,
Is what I'm saying. It's my sister. I'd like to know what happened to her, but if we don't have time, we don't have time.
I'd be so bold as to connect those two dots. There's something strange happening up in these mountains. There's something strange happening in this institute. I think we go up the mountains.
If your
Pretty good odds we're gonna find your sister.
If your sister could hear thoughts, maybe there was something like calling to these people, and that's why they all left.
Possibly.
on
I
the
don't
other-
know if all the people who went missing could hear thoughts. No.
Could we find out? Would
Yeah.
the lady, Dr. Would
Yeah.
she know?
She would.
Before we
Before
go asking
we go
everybody,
ask.
on the other hand, Mr. Van der Vand has an appointment. We know he is of Atlantean blood, and he might have some of these abilities too. So he was willing to stay a couple of days, and if
Oh,
if
well, no, I thought we'd just have a quick chat and
Oh,
see where
I
it
see.
goes from there.
But also, I should point out that your sister. I know that Carol's watching, so I'm going to do my best to kind of.
Carol's having this conversation. The director's watching you.
Oh, the
But
director's
yeah.
watching. Carol's having a conversation. I kind of subtly, motion with my eyes or gesture towards Carol. I was friends with some of the people here.
Yeah, she mentioned such in a letter. Yeah, if I could talk to her on my own, I would be very grateful. Look, why don't I introduce you guys to the director and you can have a chat. You can talk to the doctor about your powers. Perhaps I'll have a chat to someone else.
That could work. We, I guess. Yeah, we could try that. I mean, she's probably eager to talk to us anyway, so.
Anyway, I'll introduce the director.
She stands up and walks towards the three of you. Hello?
So I've convinced my friends here that this is worth some sort of a look into.
I'm glad. Are you detectives as well?
No, private investigators of a kind. William Vanderven of the Vanderven Investigation Agency. This is our first case, as it happens.
I see. I'm familiar with your company, not with your investigative unit, though.
No, it's up and coming in the investigation world.
Excellent.
My guard.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Well,
if that's the
personal
case,
guard.
then
Oh, yeah.
we'd appreciate your assistance. If there's anything I can help with you, we have records of the patients which have checked themselves out, and we're an open book here. We'd like to help you in any way that we can. Where would you like to start?
Well, could we maybe ask you some questions about the people that have left? Just to get a
Of
feel
course.
on what they were like and why they might have left.
Certainly. Why don't you...
Ted was fetching a doctor for me.
Oh, whatever for.
Just for a brief chat, a quick hello. As it happens, I might need a room here myself.
Oh, well, we'd be thrilled to have you, Mr. Vanderven. If that's the case, then why don't you wait here? If Ted's fetching him, I'm sure Dr. Winslow will be here shortly. Three of you, I speak with you in my office.
I might go. Do you mind if I have a look around Nora's room?
Certainly. He looks at him and she says, Jeffrey, why don't you show Mr. DeMartino around? And the blonde-haired man said, oh, sure. Come with me, detective.
I'll walk up to him and sort of. I'm trying to just take as long as possible for her to leave.
Yeah,
Is
sure.
she gonna take these
Yeah, no, they
guys?
pretty quickly turn around and the two of you are escorted into the office. You are stepping to the side and you now see, heading down the stairs, Ted, who's just sort of like stepping down them confidently, and just behind him, a slightly irritated looking doctor who's probably been pulled away from much more serious work is following him. He's got a similar coat to the director's and short cropped hair and very quite serious looking. He comes down and he's also got a little briefcase which he's carrying. Ted hands it towards you and says, Mr. Vanderven, this is Dr. Winslow. Just telling Mr. Winslow about your abilities.
Yeah, well, a pleasure. I hadn't even thought about exploring it further until I got here. And I talked to Ted and some of the other residents. It's quite some extraordinary people you have here.
Yeah. Well, we're be thrilled to run some tests on you, Mr. Vanderven.
That'd be excellent. Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm part of an association down in New York. You might have heard of us, Atlas.
I'm sure it's something.
We're an association for the descendants of the Atlantis.
I appreciate that, Mr. Vanderven. Why don't I escort you to my office and we just jump into some tests?
Oh,
you can tell me as we talk. As
that'd
we
be
walk.
fine. Thank you.
He heads off, and to anyone but you, it'd be clear this is falling on deaf ears. But he seems like he's a really good listener because he doesn't chime in.
Good.
And my video is frozen. Good. That means I can do whatever I want. You're just gonna have to trust me.
Are we still good?
Oh, is it
You know
just
what?
yours?
We're actually really, it's apparently just mine. We'll unplug and replug some stuff in. Well, that's cool. We'll go on break then. So
Ventriloquist.
and I'll just narrate it and do whatever I want.
Ooh,
So
voice.
as William goes upstairs with the doctor, as the José and Edie step in to speak with the director, and as Detective Nick DeMartino begins to have a look around his sister's room, we will take a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll be right back to see what happens. Thank you, everyone. My camera will work shortly.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe. Hi, welcome back. Sorry about that. We had to do some tech changing, so I had it on studio mode. You did? It's fine. I wanted to stay as a unmoving puppet because I was getting told I looked like a ventriloquist, which I thought was cool. But we will defer to the traditional moving camera. So, to pick back up, you're heading upstairs with the doctor. The two of you
What? This is just my normal
are going
outfit.
into a cool and normal meeting, and you're going to have a look around the rooms with
Well, I was
Jeffrey.
hoping before I go,
Yeah.
if everyone's clearing out, I can turn to him and go, and have Carol nearby as well,
Yeah.
and do a sort of. Actually, you're point towards the cars. I don't want to interrupt. You're clearly in the middle of something.
Oh, that's not a worry.
Carol, do you want to show me up and around? Do you mind showing me up
She
to
goes,
Nora's room?
Yeah, sure. If you prefer. Jeffrey sits down and he's the only person at the card table now, and he picks up his hand and like changes one of the cards in order and puts it back down. Gosh, he's gonna be ready when Ted gets back. Carol gets up and says, sure, yeah, come with me. And she's gonna head upstairs. You are hot on the trail of Mr. Vanderven. Now let's do you first. So you're going upstairs. Ted's talking to you amicably. He's very excited about your potential abilities, and he's already beginning to sort of hypothesize the possible things. When you mentioned Atlantean, you could probably get, you're probably uniquely acclimatized to deep water environments, and who knows what else. I mean, maybe if they communicated differently, you might have those abilities. I mean, gosh, there's a lot to say. The Doctor himself is not really entertaining anything. Whenever Ted asks him a question, he goes, yeah. Possibly. We have to know. We have to test to find out. How excited are you about this?
I'm terribly excited. I think I found my calling.
Do you think there's a good chance?
Yeah.
All right. Stepping inside, the Dr. Windsor's office is a desk with its back to a window towards the rear, and then a table in the center with a chair on either side. Very interrogation room-esque, but much too nicely lit and with some plants around, so it's fairly pleasant. Winslow sits on the chair near the desk and gestures for you to seat, and it says, "Thank you, Ted. You can get back to your game." Ted stalls in the door for a moment and then, heads back and says, so Winslow sits and he says, "So, Mr. Vanderven,
Yeah.
When did your abilities come to you?"
Well, I don't know. It would have been about the time I joined Atlas, because, there was a study done, and it seemed I had some kind of Atlantean Do I know DNA? Is that a word?
I think no, because you guys keep on leaving bloods at crime scenes, so no.
There's some kind of Atlantean ancestry back there. And
Alright.
that explains the fact that, every now and then I wake up, there's a bit of swelling behind the left ear. Always the left ear, never the right. Something there, I think. And when I feel that, there's a good 50% chance it's gonna rain that day.
50.
You can't explain that.
I'm sure you can.
Well, maybe you can. That's why I'm here.
As you've talked for a moment, he's reached under his table and he's pushed a switch in, and you can hear like a as something records me. And when you sort of look a bit curious, he goes, "Sorry, I'm just going to be recording the conversation. Helps to keep notes."
Of course.
So you said you expect you can detect rain with a 50% success rate.
Yes.
Okay, that's significant.
Well, at least.
Consider my curiosity piqued.
Oh.
Good.
Excellent.
All right. I'm going to go through some simple tests, and they're going to determine the potential you might have to perceive things on a different plane. 2 hours. I'd like to start off with, and he begins to take you through a few different tests, including sort of like hands on 2 metal rods to see if he measures numbers. He jots things down, and you talk at him the whole time, and occasionally he chimes in with a very distinct summary of what's just happened for the recording, and it never sounds particularly impressive when he says it, but when you see the numbers, boy, howdy are they high.
Yeah.
The last one he's going to do is he's going to say, "Now, finally, I'm going to run through a simple test. It's a check to see if you may have any ability to read minds. Now, to do so, I'm going to show you 5 cards. There is a circle, a wave, a square, a plus, and a star.
What was the first one again?
A circle,
Oh, yes, yeah.
a wave,
A wave,
a plus,
plus...
a star, and a square. Now,
A square, okay.
I'm going to shuffle these.
Ooh.
And you're going to tell me what you perceive, Mr. Vanderven.
Alrighty.
Can you give me a power test?
Sure.
Just FYI, DNA was discovered in 1869.
None of this wrong.
I don't think it was.
I think
like,
discovered.
I don't think it was
it was
common
crime
knowledge.
scene that was the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I don't
it
think it was
wasn't-
like functional until a little while later.
Yeah.
Before
Okay,
1881, DNA didn't work.
It was all chance.
Which is jelly.
People were coming out as cheese.
Alright, here I go.
Go for it.
Jackson,
Power test.
Can Jackson not roll and just guess?
He absolutely can.
Oh, that would have been amazing. It was outside. It was a fail. No, 88.
It was a fail. Would you like to push the roll?
Sure.
Alright.
No negative consequences.
Pushing the
Why
roll
would
is
I?
you really squeezing in the back of your mind. You are risking something just ticking the wrong direction and maybe re-bringing up some old
Good.
poor memories. Oh, Jesus, Jackson. I go for it. Roll again.
Oh! 008, success 3.
Success 3. Alright, he holds it, and there's no possible way you can see the back, but in the corner of your mind, you know it is not a square, it is not a plus, and it is not a wave.
Oh.
It is one of the remaining two. You have a 50% chance of guessing it. So it is either a circle
Or a
square. No, sorry, not a square.
Star.
Star.
Circle.
Yep. Circle. I also realized after I explained it that way by going circle and star. It's very reasonably clear, but
Oh, I didn't think
go
of
ahead
that.
and add 5%.
I didn't think that was.
No, I'm absolutely paying it. So you can add 5% to the psychic skill.
Hell
Basically,
yeah.
put your psychic
Oh my
skill
god!
5%.
After all this, he actually
Get out.
is psychic.
I told you.
And
Since he's Atlantean.
as that happens, he seems genuinely concerned. He goes, "All right, let's just do that once more for confirmation." So go ahead and roll another power test for me,
Is that
please.
the psychic already on the skill?
Probably not. You
No,
might
it's
be
not.
allowed
It's
to
not.
add as an
It's-
addition.
Psychic, you have to write in.
Yeah.
And I can't spell it apparently. Hold on.
It's like Psyduck, but sidekick.
You can't spell that.
S. That doesn't matter. What do I do
Go ahead and rank another power check. He's
It's got a
confirming
P,
your
an S, and a
ability.
Y in there.
Hurry! 40 is a success. I'm going to spend 3 points of luck, make that a success 2.
Okay. It is not a square or a circle.
Alright, it is.
Meaning it is either plus, star, or wave.
Star!
He goes, "No, I'm afraid it isn't. But you may have some ability. If you'd like to check yourself in here, we can probably run some more tests
Yeah,
and begin
well.
to expand upon it. From there, he
Well,
goes
well,
through.
if anything, 50%. That's consistent.
That's consistent
That's
with your,
reproducible.
your
That's the science of it.
I wouldn't like to get your hopes up, Mr. Vanderven. There is a element of chance to this, but it warrants pursuit. If you'd like to check yourself in here.
Oh, well, probably not immediately. I've got a bit of an errand to run up in the mountains, and we've got this investigation of Nora, I'll probably be back before long, though.
Alright, well, thank you for your time, and Aylin's goes and the subject, Mr. William Vanderven, and the doctor, Bertrand Winslow's session is over. He clicks the button and the whirring stops.
Okay.
So he stands up, shakes your hand, and says, "Well, thank you, and if any of your other friends want to see if they may have abilities as well, you send them my way. I have some work to do, though, but
It's the same test for everyone who gets admitted?
it's a precursory test. It helps to find what directions they may have, but yes, we run a simple one for everyone."
Fascinating. And I imagine, I won't talk myself up too much, but I imagine some folks are more adept than others.
Some are, yes.
So, can you tell me anything about Nora DeMartino? She was it's quite the star, I imagine.
Can you give me I think you're going for charm.
Yeah,
Go for charm check. Probably gonna need hard. It's a
that's fine.
yeah. Oh, what'd you get?
Actually, 43 and 85 is 1 point.
Okay,
off.
that's enough. All right. You say that. He says, "Yes. Well, Nora was definitely something. She excelled at almost every test we gave her. She was 1 in 100. We haven't had many like her in quite some time. Unfortunately, I seemed a bit troubled before she left. I understand you're here with her brother. Is that right?
Yeah, well, there was something about a letter, and now she's wandered off. Any information would sure help us track us down and help Nick feel a lot better.
I understand. Well, we're also eager to find her. I'll speak with Dr. Calsham, and I'm sure she'd want me to share what I have.
Yeah,
I have the recording, the last session we had, if that would
fascinating.
be useful.
Of course, and I'm sure it'd help the detective feel much better.
Would you like me to play it for just yourself, or would you like to wait until
Oh,
the detective is here?
what is that?
Oh, go ahead.
You
Oh,
really
okay.
want
Well,
to-
yeah. Let's make sure it won't upset him. Go ahead.
Okay. He rifles through and he puts clicks a disc or some sort of like spinning thing beneath the desk, slots in. Can you give me a intelligence test?
I can.
It's a no roll.
I would love to. Success 2.
Okay. The sound this thing makes as it plays back a recording, and when it recorded earlier, is familiar to the sound you heard one night ago now, when you picked up the receiver to the silent telephone. And sort of recording and playing back. Anyway, and then after a moment, it crackles for a moment, and you hear the doctor saying, name, Nora DeMartino, the date is April 29th, 1935. And then another voice comes through and goes, it started as the same sort of dream I've been having these last 2 weeks. Quite intense, really. As I've said, I never had a dream quite like it before being moved here. Suppose it's because of the research and your help with the lucid dreaming techniques. I was always a strong dreamer. I told you how it pushed Nick away and how it scared my mother and my father. Yes, you have. Nora, pardon me saying, but you seem a bit, shall we say, hesitant today. The record scratches for a moment, and there's a crackling pop sound, and then, I'm sorry, I suppose I should quit my rambling and get to it. As I was saying, it was a dream about the underground city. I feel like I'm getting better at remembering details, but it's still also hazy when I wake up, even though it leaves such an intense impression. Anyway, everything appears blue in the city, even the people. It's such a peculiar feeling, as if I'm somehow intruding and belong there at the same time. I still can't for the life of me remember a single word that we exchange in these dreams. Maybe we don't talk, although I feel as if we do. I just remember people staring intently at each other. Nora, are you all right? Yes, I'm fine. It's just that put me in mind of what happened next. I woke up, you see, blinking in the darkness, and I felt this presence. I turned towards my door and I saw a woman. Well, really, mostly all I saw were her eyes. She had these wide eyes, bigger than normal, and she was staring at me with it just as intently as the people in those dreams I have. And she just faded away, gone, just like that. Must have been an apparition. I didn't think it was worth mentioning before. It's nothing to do with your dream research, and she's hardly the first ghost I've seen, here or anywhere. It crackles for a minute, and then you hear silence, and then when it picks up again, there's a slightly different sound, like an ambience to it. And you can hear Minzo saying, Doctor's note, I have spoken with Miss DeMartino numerous times about possible waking inspiration for her dreams. They bear a striking resemblance to the sort of thing Miss Ash used to talk about, but she disappeared 3 years before Miss DeMartino came here. It's possible that her stories have filtered through successive rounds of subjects long after her physical presence here. She also claims never to have read anything about the so-called Hollow Earth, whether misguided pseudoscience or fictional visions or fictional treatments such as those depicted by Verne. While it's tempting to theorize that such visions are somehow connected to psychic capabilities, it's more likely to be some combination of subconscious archetypes and stories influencing your dreams. It runs for a bit and then begins to spool as the recording ends. Winslow picks it up and passes it to you. He says, if you'd like to listen to it again, it's yours, and I have a written transcript of it. I do it for all my patients. Miss DeMartino has had a troubled life. She has been passed from institute to institute. She's been left in asylums, places that didn't care for her and didn't have the ability to care for her. They didn't know what she was capable of or what she was really working through. We're concerned, and this was taken only a few days before she left. I worried she wasn't in the right state of mind. Listen, if you're working with a detective, I'll leave this in his hands, but if you have any questions, please, we're eager to help.
Thank you very much. It's very helpful indeed, and your attention to detail and your record keeping is going to make quite a difference, I think.
We try to be thorough. We work in a field that has a lot of skeptics. It's good to make sure that things are right.
Of course. Thank you. Like art.
He takes it and pockets it, and then leaves you out onto the floor. Let's go down to the two of you. So you've headed into Dr. Calasham's office. She closes it behind you and sits at her desk. As the two of you seek and stands. Sorry, can I get you a warm drink or something?
Oh, I'm fine. Do you need anything?
Why did you want to talk to us?
Well, sorry, I thought the detective said you might have some questions.
We wanted to ask about the previous people that have gone missing.
Right. Okay. I suppose I can start at the beginning. We've had a few people go ever since the first director left some years ago. started in 33, a woman named Anna Yardley. She was an orphan from the Bronx. We just assumed that she wasn't comfortable here. She never seemed to be comfortable anywhere. Then we had Evan Bain. He was a vet, never really treated well, and he suffered badly. He rarely slept, and it made him sluggish even during the day. Natalia Thimble. We suspect she may have been in a problematic relationship with her husband. When she left, we assumed that she just didn't feel safe here either. But when we spoke with her husband, she never returned there. We just presumed that she had fled, made a new life for herself. And then recently, your friend's sister, Nora DeMartino. These were over the course of several years. The first instance was in 1933, shortly after I became director. And then most recently, only a few days ago.
Who was director before you were?
Dr. Nesbitt. He founded the facility.
And how long has it been in operation?
It began in 1928.
Did he retire? Did anything happen to him?
No, he was fond of wandering. We always presumed he just headed into the mountains one day and didn't come back.
Did he have any abilities? I mean, he founded the place.
No, he didn't have any abilities himself. He had some technical prowess. He was able to create some quite amazing devices. We still have some gathering dust in the attic. I don't believe any of them work anymore. He believed that he had the ability to, through these devices, walk between dreams, allow him to perceive the dreams of others. He thought that by doing so, he might find potential psychics or clairvoyants in a more accessible state while they were dreaming, allow him to relate to them and help.
And what led you here? Do you have abilities?
No, not myself. I've always been curious. I've certainly believed in them from a young age, but no, I studied psychology in university, and I just was drawn to it. Dr. Nesbitt was a interesting gentleman, and he offered me a job when not many would.
These are people who have vanished since you've been running the facility. Would you say that they were amongst the most troubled of your patients? Oh, I don't know if patient is the right word. I'm struggling to find.
Patient, clientele, patron, we prefer to think of them as people. Guests works most of the time. They're
Guests.
comfortable here, and we're comfortable helping them. The most troubled? No. They often were the ones that stayed the longest. We've had people here that have stayed only overnight for simple tests. If they leave, it's to go home.
Were they those with the most significant abilities?
I wouldn't say so. No, they were all capable. They all passed at least some tests. No particular thread between them. They spread themselves. Some believe they're clairvoyant. Others could conduct a seance, or at least passably lie about doing one.
So none of them had any similarities, any similar abilities.
They all mentioned dreams. Many of them would have worked with Winslow. He was documenting the dreams and trying to continue Nesbitt's work. I'm not a dream researcher myself. I believe what they say they can do is real. I'm here to help prove it, document it, and share it with the world. But Dr. Winslow is a little bit more of a skeptic. He follows Dr. Nesbitt's pursuit. He wants to see it in action, and he believes that by inducing lucid dreaming, they can realize it, share it better, and then prove it.
And how long has Winslow been working here?
He started shortly after I did. He worked under Dr. Nesbitt. To tell the truth, he was a little disappointed to see me get the position of director, but he's worked very well with me since then.
I'm curious, are we able to look at the devices that are in the attic? I have a little bit of a mechanical background.
I don't see why not. They're in poor condition, and the whole area is a little unsafe. We don't head there frequently. Let me have a look first, make sure that there's nothing that's going to fall over and crush anyone, and then yes, I'm sure that could be arranged.
Sure, sounds fine. Do you have any other questions?
Well, Edie's an expert with this kind of thing. If something's going to fall over and crush anything, she'd be the one to tell you about it.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, no, I'll come with you. There's no giant spiders or anything up there. It's just an attic.
Regular sized spiders. Sure. I suppose that'd be okay. She steps up and brushes her. And she's fine. Why don't you come with me now? We'll have a look around. Mr.
Castillo.
Mr. Castillo, please feel free to ask around. If you see Winslow, anything you need from him, just let him know that I've asked it of him. Thank you again, both of you, for your help. We have some funds set aside. We'd be willing to pay, say, $150 for your investigation expertise. If you're a group, I presume you need to do so for pay.
I have to speak to my employer about pay. I'm here under his purview.
Okay. The same for you?
I wouldn't say no to it if you were offering.
Okay. I'll speak with your leader and run it past him. Okay. Why don't you come with me? And she leaves you, Castillo, downstairs. She opens the door, kind of implying you should leave, but she doesn't watch you leave or anything. And she's gonna head up towards the attic with you. You're walking with Carol. She's not particularly talkative, not at all. And she walks with like her shoulders up. She's crossed over with a scarf pulled around it. She seems visibly uncomfortable in your presence, but also she seems just quiet in general. And she seems a little like just really, really socially awkward or whatever. She walks with you and doesn't make conversation unless you ask.
Carol, Nora wrote me a letter when she was staying here. She told me that there was one particular person here that she was close to that she would count as a friend. Would that be you, Carol?
I don't. Your sister barely spoke to me. We had a couple conversations in passing. She was friendly enough, but I wouldn't say we were close. No.
So you don't have family nearby?
No. I traveled from south. I had to get a plane to get here.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Thank you, Carol.
That's okay. This is the room, by the way. She only left a little while ago, so they've kept it as it was. I think she cleared out everything, but you're free to have a look around. She opens the door, and you're looking at... The second floor is basically divided into a series of bunks. Or, sorry, not bunks. Small rooms that people can sleep in. A chair, bed, and a table.
Kind of like a dorm room.
Yeah, kind of like a dorm. And then towards the back, there's Winslow's office and his room, which is a slightly larger one. She opens the door for you, and you step inside to see a made bed, a empty chest of drawers, and she says, I'm just gonna head back to my room and keep reading. If you have any questions.
Can I make a psychology roll on her saying that they weren't close, just in case, see if she's telling the truth, or see what I get off her. I'm gonna lock that down. 3 points to get a success.
Okay. She seems to be a little bit... For some reason, she seems to be slightly offended by it, or mildly irritated, maybe. Just, it's very fleeting.
Okay.
Something about it rubbed her the wrong way. Not like...
Okay.
She's not angry or anything, she just seems to be like, well, that's...
Okay. Well, that's strange. Okay. I'll go into the room then.
Okay.
Is there... I look around. Is there anything left of Nora's in
Make
there?
a spot hidden test, please.
Okay. That is a success. 1.
Okay.
Medium success.
Going through it, you can see there is a chest of drawers that held clothing. There's no dust in it, didn't have the time to gather. But as you look through it, you can see signs of where things were. There's a snagged thread on one section where something was pulled out in a hurry. And underneath the bed, there's dust gathered, but there's a smear where a rucksack was stored and tugged out to be filled. Apart from that, though, there are no artifacts in here. It appears like it was fairly thoroughly cleared. It also didn't have a ton of places for things to be stored. The last thing you note, though, is underneath the mattress. As you raise it up, though, there is a slight indent in the back corner and the smell of tobacco, and there is still a box of matches, which has been pressed into the side and kind of jammed up, something that could have easily been forgotten.
Okay. I will take the box of matches.
Okay. You
And there's
pry it
nothing
out slightly.
There's not, and the room's basically empty.
It's a small room and there's not really many hiding places. You walk along the boards, they creak a little bit, but as you go down with your fingers to try and pry any up, there's no movement. The door has no latches on it anywhere. There's no locks that could be put in place. And as you go to the window, you raise it up and it does so with 0 resistance. Looking outside, you could make that jump if you had to.
Okay, I'd like to go shut the window.
Yep.
And go and open the door and just peek out and make sure there's no one like standing in the corridor.
Looking out, you can see Carol is across the way and in the room to the right. You can see her lying on the bed. She's got the book up. She's reading, but she would be able to hear you, or she would probably see you go past. She doesn't seem to be looking at the moment. And you can hear from just down the corridor exclamation as William sort of shouts in applause. He seems to have succeeded in some test.
And I'd like to close the door as tightly as I can. It doesn't latch, unfortunately. Nope. And I'll take a glove off and touch the box of matches and see if I can get anything psychometrical from it.
Okay, you take your glove off, and as you hold the box of matches, you immediately begin to feel anxiety coming over you. The lights just above you swinging begin to flare into brilliance, and sort of a deep, painful headache, like a spike driven between your ears, begins to thump through your skull. Go ahead and make a psychometry roll.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I'm so bad at these. No. 80.
Unfortunately,
80 over 50.
as it begins to swell through and actually it just begins like a screaming tea kettle in the center of your head, you drop the matches and have to blink and kind of cover your ears for a moment until eventually it begins to fade. You fight the urge to throw up, but that feeling of sort of rough sickness in your throat doesn't go away for a moment or two.
This says this does have something.
It is at least, I mean, yes, everything has associations in some way. Or maybe you just live the life of a match for a moment or two.
Because I could.
You gonna give it a push?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's something I could push theoretically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it would be very dangerous to do so.
Doing so, I mean, the last time you failed one of these, you basically fell back into drunkenness to fight it off. This is putting your mind in these, and especially if this is your sister, you are putting your mind in one that has been broken, moved, and tampered with several times. There is definitely a risk here.
You do have a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Are you saying that in a positive way? Because I would say that in a negative way.
You have a 50-50 chance.
You said 50-50. That's repeatable.
That's repeatable.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, I mean, you failed the first one, so
you have to succeed.
Yeah,
you
that's
must
how
succeed.
it works.
In what is quite possibly the worst decision I've ever made, I will actually try to push
Go for
this.
it. Roll that again. And you cannot luck this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you roll both of them. Okay, you have...
Oh, no,
you have
no,
a
I don't roll
50-50
both.
chance.
No, you do. You roll
Roll
both.
both.
Sorry, I forgot that was an old roll we used to do.
Oh,
No!
You failed?
69.
Alright. The screaming headaches come back and you begin to feel like it hammers through your skull, and you are aware that this is something your sister experiences.
Yeah.
Bright lights are intensely painful to her, and as you reach out towards the switch, you end up just smashing the globe to prevent the light and bundling your head, swabbing it in bedclothes for a moment just to keep the senses from barraging through, but the migraine continues, piercing through and just jarring your entire head. Go ahead and lose a D4 of sanity.
Yeah. 4.
Alright.
When it rains, it pours.
Yep. And unfortunately, you can't get much more from it. You are slightly reminded of your sister when she was younger, was always sensitive to bright lights.
Can I at least put the matches in my pocket or something? Yeah. Okay. Well,
You pocket them, you put the matches in with the same burnt letter.
oh, cool.
Poetic.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then that's all.
As you step outside, the doctor is stepping out with you, and coming up the stairs is Edie, following Dr. Calisham. So the four of you kind of meet in the thing. Where were you heading, Jose, or were you going to go with?
I was going to go and find Mr. Vandervan.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, you head up as well. And the six of you are all in the lobby. It is not a very wide corridor, and Calisham sort of points to, we're trying to get to the ladder. and sort of then begins to navigate through people with Edie in tow as they get towards a high point, tug it down and lower a ladder up into the attic. She will have a quiet word with Dr. Winslow. Nothing of significance, basically just saying these people are here to help give them anything they need. As far as records, if there's anything else, just run it past me. But we're going to assist them. And the four of you have a moment to step aside and talk. It's probably not super private. Unless you were actively whispering, it would be at least heard, but you guys can talk if you want to.
Did your test go well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they'd be happy to keep me here.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's my schedule permitting, of course. I know we're on a bit of a deadline, but maybe when this all blows over, I'll be back here putting my feet up and telling you whether it's going to rain or not.
Did you find anything out about your sister?
Nothing. Her letter spoke of the fact that she had a friend here, but I thought that would be Carol, but apparently Carol and her weren't that close. I don't know what this friend is. She says she has a friend,
Carol,
a female friend nearby.
Carol and her were close. Carol and her were close. We were told by the doctor, the head. Carol was lying to you.
Carol, I don't know if she was lying. She seemed irritated by it. How do you know the director wasn't lying?
Sorry, no, was it the director or was it?
It was the
Ted.
groundskeepers.
It was the
groundskeepers.
groundskeepers. So the groundskeepers outside. What reason would they have to lie?
What reason would Carol have to lie?
Well, if she's involved with the disappearance of a person, plenty.
Possibly. I don't know. Okay, possibly. Suggested
maybe
that
it was a one-sided friendship.
possibly.
Maybe it was.
Maybe she doesn't feel comfortable talking to someone who's related to Carol. Maybe one of us should have a word with her.
Yeah, to Nora. Yeah.
The other thing is that
Well, it said that her family is nearby, and Carol. That's easily provable. As Carol's family doesn't live nearby.
Well, maybe she lied about that as well. Did she say where she was from?
Well, no, but that would be such an easy lie to prove incorrect.
so let's prove it.
We could just ask the director.
So let's do
Let's
that.
go ask the director. I think she's talking about someone else, but I don't know who else she could be possibly talking about.
Maybe she had some other visitors?
Yeah,
Stop by every now
well,
and
it
then?
says a participant in particular. Her friend suggested a camping trip. Her family lives nearby and offered to host me when I am released. It sounds like that's where she went.
I certainly hope that's not one of Fontanelli's gang.
I hope so as well.
The doctor mentioned that upstairs they have some old equipment that was meant to be able to cast people into dreams. If it's anything like, it sounds vaguely like what we've experienced before. Edie's going to take a look at it. Maybe that can get us something.
All right, let's all go up there and we can talk to the director about where Carol was from.
Are we gonna fit in that attic? It may not be that big.
It'll be tight, but I think we'll be fine.
The other well, the other thing,
Why don't you go up there and send her down, and I'll have a chat to her on this line.
why don't you two do that? Me and Mr. Van der Van, we go and talk to Dr. Winslow. He worked with Nora apparently. How do you want us to refer to your sister, Mrs. DeMartino, or?
Nora's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you talked to the doctor. Did you get anything out of it?
Oh, just that she was certainly gifted.
Okay. That's good to know.
He didn't tell you anything about her abilities or her time here.
I've already forgotten, did he?
Yeah, he told
Gave
you.
you a
Yeah,
full-
he did. I
Gave you a
was,
full
Gave you the
recording.
oh! I was like, why are you hiding it?
I'm so sorry.
Very Van der Van. Yeah.
Oh, you did get
Oh, the recording!
Oh, the
no,
transcript!
that would come later tonight.
Sits up in bed. Ah.
The recording! I wish we should have just kept on playing with now we just don't have that information.
Of course. Well, as it happened, April 29th, 1935. Now, that was just last month.
A week and a half.
Yeah. She had a very intense dream. It seems like she has quite a lot of these dreams that she's been having. She's a very strong dreamer, she said. She dreamt of an underground city. It was very blue, including the people, and everyone just looked at each other all the time. Very interesting. And then she woke up, and she felt a presence. She turned her eyes toward the door, and she saw a woman looking at her.
A woman.
Who
Like
then,
she was talking about in the letter.
well, yeah, but who then faded away.
Faded away on that occasion.
Yeah.
But that was
That's-
this was written.
That's it. That's what Carol's power is. We've heard this. She can walk into other people's dreams.
Yeah. Now, as it happens, such a figure was also seen by Miss Ash, who was another guest here, who disappeared.
But
3
wasn't
years
there a
earlier.
third girl who disappeared as well?
There were many.
How many people disappeared?
Yordley, Evan Bain, Italia Thimble. Lots of people disappeared.
Who was the first person to disappear? Was it Ash?
It could have been 3 years ago. Wait, is that
Anna,
one of
I've got
yours?
Anna Yordley. I don't have Ash there.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Can we find
Yeah.
the
There's
director?
like 2 feet.
Yeah, director. Who was the
Realistic.
first person to disappear? Yeah.
Anna Yardley left in 3 years ago.
Yeah, and what she was an orderly? Did you say?
No,
No?
she was an
Yardley was
orphan from the
Yordley
Bronx.
was her name. Sorry, I thought Anna the orderly.
No,
Okay.
sorry.
She was an orphan.
Yes, no, she'd had a rough life. We just presumed she couldn't find comfort here.
Did her family live nearby?
Orphan. No,
Orphan.
she didn't have
God.
any family.
Was there a Miss Ash?
I was not for sure.
Oh, yes, there was a Miss Ash some time ago. She had confrontations with the staff, she didn't get on well, and she checked herself out.
Did her family live nearby? Someone's family here lived
She
nearby.
never spoke about her family. She seemed obsessed with some deep ancestry or another. She refused to speak of it, except in cryptic overtones and words of hidden masters.
This is Ash.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was famously difficult.
Does Carol's family live nearby?
No, they're from Arizona, I think.
Whose family lived nearby? It's sorry. Apologies.
Did Nora have any visitors she kept regularly?
Nora, no. You're the first ever come calling.
Are any of the patients or the guests here locals? Which is what
Several
you're
are from New York. Both Jeffrey and Ted are both from New York. But
Any of them from Saugerties or
no, I'm afraid
the
not.
other places nearby?
I think that nearby could mean near what we came here for.
Sorry, what did you come here for?
Sorry, my English isn't very good. I near where we're going camping. They could be camping.
Oh, in the mountains.
Yes.
It strikes me as unlikely. You'll forgive me, but your sister was a little frail.
Yeah. The camping trip. You think the camping trip is the camping trip? It is fucking always camping trip.
I mutter in Spanish like I'm not quite getting what you're... Yeah. I might go have another stroll.
Okay.
Look, can I come with you? I think I have one more lead possibly before I dismiss everything.
Sure, Mr. Van der Van, do you want to accompany Edie?
Oh, that'd be fine.
Just don't touch anything.
Okay. I can harness my psychic powers to figure out what happened up there.
Dr. Winslow heads back to do his work, and Dr. Kalasham heads up the stairs into the attic, which is low above you. It peaks in the center, and the highest point is brushing along your
Yeah,
head. She
it's
has to
small.
stoop a little bit to walk through it. On the sides, there are boxes stacked up that haven't seen use in quite some time. But in the center, towards the distance, there is a large something covered in a dusty tarp. She heads towards it. She says, "This is the most relevant and his life's work." She begins to draw it backwards, and what is revealed is a large sort of metal tower in the center. That seated around it are 6 armchairs, which have been relieved of stuffing and replaced with planks on the inside to reinforce them. And then dangling down above them from the central pole are 3 headsets that look suspiciously like colanders, but they aren't. They're like technical colanders. There's some insulation around the inside, and you can see at the bottom a place where your feet can sort of hook in to hold on.
So I'm going to ask, do you know anything about how this might work? What
I
did
don't.
he have any plans or anything he might have left? I mean,
Yes, there are journals which speak of numerous technical requirements. Unfortunately, much too complex for me to decipher. I have no mechanical degrees. As I understand it, it has the ability to unite minds up to 6, as in the machine, and send them into a single person's dream or consciousness. It requires them to remain in the seat, so it has limited use, and it has some power requirement that I've never been able to decipher. I don't know, unfortunately. You're free to look through some of the journals.
Do you have them? Would I be able
We do,
to take
yes.
them to study?
Certainly. She looks around and says, look, this doesn't... I doubt you're going to fall through the ceiling here, so feel free to come back on your own time. I'd be pleased to know if anything is broken. I'd be thrilled to hear if anything's repaired, so feel free to tinker. It can't get much worse.
Is this the only thing? Were there any other smaller...
There are smaller experiments, but they never bore fruit. He wrote of them as being failed.
Alright, so this was his...
This was it, and he believed it worked.
Okay.
He has documented times when he has joined minds with another.
He's used it.
In the past, yes. The original patient, Mr. Slater, was quite troubled. He had hurt people, and it was hard to understand. Dr. Nesbitt believed that it was some awareness that Slater held let him see things that weren't there and drove him to act. It was through this device that Dr. Nesbitt tried to understand that, to try and put himself in the patient's shoes and see what really happened, see how he perceived things.
So, the time when he got this working, allegedly, and the time when he went on his hike, were they around the same time, or was there...
I'd have to check the journals, but similar, I suspect.
Alright, well, I might have a look around. Can I... I guess, could I do like a mech repair? Like, in what state is this? Is this legitimately falling apart?
So, it would need a engineering or electrical repair roll just to get it working up and working again, and then it needs some sort of power supply.
Can I have a go at some library use or computer use?
Computer use would apply, yep, to try and see how it might work.
I mean, I can try and electrical repair it.
Because that'd be what's needed to get it working. Yep, so definitely. Do you want? So this will be a couple hours of work.
Yeah.
Possibly
okay.
pushing into the evening and when you might want to.
Right.
Like you probably wouldn't want to go somewhere else. So, Calasham's willing to get you the 4 of you beds here. They have a room.
Well, maybe we should reconvene and discuss what we want to do, because this is interesting, but it's also just kind of a big metal machine.
Yes.
It's not.
Alright, so as the two of you are looking this over and speaking, you two go downstairs and you're heading...
Well, you said that Dr. Winslow was going back to his work. I'd like to beeline and catch him before he goes.
Sure, yeah.
Very quickly.
He heads towards the door and you
Yeah,
catch him.
sorry, Dr. Winslow. You worked very closely with Nora, didn't you?
I work closely with all the patients.
Yeah, on dreams with her, right?
Yes.
Yes. Does the name Ferdinand Argus mean anything to you?
Ferdinand Argus, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Psychology?
Go for it.
Success 2.
Genuinely doesn't ring a bell.
What about Leopold Fontanelli?
I read some works of his a while ago. Troubling stuff and little proof. I disregarded it, but I'm familiar.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. And a final thing. You never thought that didn't anything change about Nora's behavior just before she went missing?
Yeah, so that's why I expressed concern to your colleague. It was only days before she left when we had our final meeting and she expressed dreams, troubling ones. I remarked at their similarity to those that had been perceived earlier.
Ash, right? You said Miss Ash.
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell us about Miss Ash? We just want to make sure that you've seen Nora. She, as you said, she's frail. We want to make sure that she's safe and that she's well.
Yes. Listen, Ash was early in my time here. She was troubled, and I was novice. I may not have handled things as best I could, but she was directly confrontational. She knew how to push your buttons, and she knew how to control people. She had a magnetic personality. You wanted to help her. Once I became aware of it, I began to push back a little bit. Listen, I have one of her files. If you'd like to read my report.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. He heads into the office and returns with the following document.
Thanks so
Look
much.
at all this top-notch prop work.
Oh.
Game Master
Hot
Dave
dog,
over
that's
here.
not
What a
me,
fact.
that's
Stuck
the
it on
book,
the thing.
which has all sorts of cool stuff in it.
Da-da-da.
I just blew it up and printed it.
typography.
After we get the thing, I'll sort of walk over to
Carry that.
DeMartino.
This one? Oh yeah, it's your sister.
I'll walk over to DeMartino and I read this out to you, so I'll read it out to everyone though. So name Esmeralda Marie Ash, date of birth 09/12/1905. Place of birth, Kingston, New York. Subject is extremely gifted. She consistently gets high marks in most ESP tests we conduct with her. Like many of the gifted subjects, we study her home life and her home life and social life were troubled by her gifts. She is, however, especially difficult to work with. It is clear that she is used to getting her own way, aided in large part by her magnetic personality. I dare say she would make an able mesmerist if she turned to that. From her stories of her upbringing, it's clear that her premonitions and other talents cause no small amount of fear in her community and even family. This has surely only increased the negative qualities of her behavior. As difficult as she can be in one-on-one sessions, she also insists on spreading her theosophy-tinged spiritualist claptrap among the other subjects here. While we don't require our subjects to subscribe to the same principles of logic and scientism we do, I think we must ask her to desist in prophetizing about hidden masters, living in some preposterous paradise at the center of the earth.
That sounds
Relevant.
familiar.
What was the lead you wanted to follow, Nick?
Wow. One quick thing. Where did you say the subject was from?
Kingston? New York?
Yeah. What if her family has a home not nearby here, but nearby me, in Brooklyn? Wait, where's Kingston? Is it in New York, or is it...
I mean, it's...
Well, New York
it's-
State may not be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Either way, New York is nearby.
Well, it's not that far. It's... Nearby is still... I
Where-
mean,
where in
Kingston
New
is
York?
still nearer than
I-
Seattle.
Yeah, I think that's who
That makes
Nora
sense.
is talking to.
You might be right. I still think we should talk to Carol. I still think
Yes.
we haven't heard everything from her. Was that the lead you wanted to follow up?
No, I think I had a hunch Nora jumped out the window. I just want to check underneath the window for any tracks.
Oh, I can
And-
help you with that.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's very close to Socrates. It's about
Wait, what?
10 miles south.
So family nearby.
Wait,
You would have literally passed it on your drone.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, go. Let's go see if we can track. I just have a hunch that she
Yeah,
jumped
no,
out the
that's
window.
a great idea.
If she didn't, we won't get anything.
Okay.
It won't do any harm to try.
Say, what was also just quickly, you know, I've never really asked much about Mr. Van der Van's Atlantean bloodline, but I know it grants him certain powers, and if Nora was Atlantean, does that mean you're Atlantean too?
Look, all that Atlantean shtick. I understand it was part of the deal for Atlas, but I never really bought into any of it.
Oh, so you don't have any powers?
I don't think I have Atlantean blood.
Okay, cool, sure. And I'll accepting that, of course.
Do you want to make a psychology check?
Yeah, you can make us. Yeah,
Well,
Because you are, and I would say you can do so with a
Faster.
dive advantage because you are currently shaken.
I'm
most recent
not,
use.
I'm not trying to get
I
at
know,
him
but I think
more, I'm
at
just
the
sort of
moment
more interested.
he is pointedly in a shaken position.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, you did
Tricky.
literally just
Well,
try and
I was
use
thinking
your
rather
powers.
than me doing psychology, would it be better
Doing
for
fast
Me
talk.
to
Yeah.
do fast talk? Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. It's gonna be hard.
It's fine. I'm not very good. At
Yeah,
fast
you
Yeah,
talk.
no, I'm just telling you.
I straight up failed. No.
Yeah, he's shaking, and as you walk out, it's like he's blinking at bright lights and everything. He seems visibly discomforted, and he just
And I
as soon as you
dismiss it.
mention it, he just goes like, "Nah, I don't got no blood." Like it's a clear
Nah.
trade. He's absolutely lying.
It's all hocus pocus.
And also, you've seen him recently. He seems to have been shaken by his sister's ties. You know, bloodline. I mean, this DNA thing. Who knows about that? But maybe there's some sort of connection. Anyway,
Well,
something
Atlas
to think
knows
about.
about that, and Atlas is right.
Oh, sorry.
He's Atlantean. He
yes,
just doesn't really
yeah.
admit it.
That's my bad. Yeah, sorry, Jose.
It's okay.
Yeah. Do you want to check for these tracks?
Let's
See
do
if-
that.
if-
Make a
It
track.
was many days ago, but who knows? It's worth a shot. in the
Track
dark.
test?
Do you want to go with advantage if you're going to be helping?
Yeah, because I can show you where the window.
Based
would-
on this,
like
that.
I was up there. I show you.
Go ahead and roll with a bonus die, Mr. Castillo.
Okay, you can have a success too, a hard success.
Hot diggity dog. All right. With that, you can tell that no one came out the window. There was no jump, but you can see tracks near the front door that show they're thinner. The shoe size is too small to be either of the caretakers, and it heads vaguely up, meandering through the garden. Now, following this is going to take you a little while. Would you like to pursue it?
Someone went this way. We can walk along here.
The ground is a bit frozen, which has preserved the footprints for a little bit.
Yeah, we need to. I think the 4 of us need to meet up and decide what we're doing.
Sure.
Let's go see the other 2.
Did you get a just straight success or hard
Hard
success?
success.
General direction is towards the mountains.
It seems to head
And there
up
is
in-
no more buildings in that way.
Okay. Well, it seems to head up towards the mountains, so at least we have some information. Let's
Go
let's
see
go
the
speak to Carol, then speak to the others quickly.
I think I don't think Carol has anything to do with this. Is my hunch.
The caretakers are just nearby. They see you looking around and like one waves. You're up. You're in the attic at the window, and you just still think it's you. No one can see.
And then what I'll do, if noticing that, I'll point at them, then get them to look up so they can see Mr. Vandervan.
They're very funny.
I understand. I've got a hunch. Let's just talk to her quickly.
Let's go talk to her.
Can we track down Carol?
Sure.
Yep.
You head back inside and go upstairs. At this point, you two are descending, intending to find out if you want to sink the time into
We're
fixing it.
Do we all run into each other?
Yeah, the director heads downstairs. She says if you have any questions, feel free to contact her, but she has an appointment to keep. She'll go downstairs to her office. Carol is on this floor, and the sandy-haired gentleman, Jeffrey, is also just heading into his room at this point and take a nap.
We found some tracks leading away from the house. I think they're Nora's. They're heading up into the mountains.
Well, heck, I guess we're onto something. I think it's all one big thing.
Yeah, I actually am starting to agree with you.
Well, what are we waiting around? Shouldn't we go follow?
Did you find anything upstairs?
Look, I don't know. There's a big machine. They were trying to connect people's dreams to other people's dreams.
Which
maybe.
is what Nora was adept at.
Really?
No, it wasn't.
Carol, well, she was working. She was working with it.
Yeah, a little bit. Nora was more about getting into people's heads rather than
but
people's dreams.
in the recording, she talked about lucid dreaming, crossing into dreams.
Well,
Yeah, you're right. She did.
All right, thank
Apologies.
you.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
you were the one that got the transcript, not me. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I do apologize.
boys, let's not fight.
No, we're not fighting.
My New York accent has finally kicked in.
Voice.
Don't make me call Bernie. Anyway.
Barney. Why not?
But, oh god, I'm sorry. I lost that train of thought making that joke.
Yeah.
So there's a big machine, and maybe it seems like it was Nesbitt. Nesbitt was the guy that made it. Maybe he was trying to connect up some people. He said he had the director said he had a difficult patient, but that guy was a dude, right?
Yeah, no, we found the difficult patient. No, I think surely it was.
The director mentioned a difficult patient. Did she specify it was a dude?
That was
or?
Miss Ash.
No, it was.
No,
it was
okay,
Ash,
sorry,
yeah.
I misheard.
That's okay.
Miss Ash, maybe there was something where they tried to connect up a bunch of different people and something happened, and maybe that's why they all disappeared. I mean.
But do you think you could get this machine working again?
Oh, yeah, maybe with a couple hours.
And I can help.
Yeah, I mean, you always need a foreman on site.
It might be worth doing. Getting that machine up and running. I don't know what it's going to help us with, but...
At least just to see what it did.
See if we can get into the... Well, remember last time we went into sort of a dream world? Didn't end up too well.
Oh, yeah, with the cat. Yeah. No, but look, I can definitely get it working. We can test it. We should probably be careful. Maybe we should send Vandervan in as like a test run. I'm
up for anything.
No,
I got these psychic powers to harness.
It's all kicking in.
For the sounds of it, the more people you have within the machine, the better it will work. Because it combines their brain force together.
But also like
let's have a guinea pig.
The opposite is also potentially true.
Edie, that isn't how it works. If with 6 people in it, one person is selected, the other consciousnesses observe that one.
Yeah.
So it's just the more viewers would be allowed.
that's
You've been given the journals at this point. You've flicked through them a bit and had a quick look. It's basically, it outlines like a ton of technical requirements. This dude was like on the same sort of weird shit as you were. It's pretty interesting to see actually, and there's some cool ideas in here. None of them necessarily work, but you're like, oh hey, death ray. Actually, no, sorry, not death ray. That would probably be a character point that he put to death ray. He did not. He made dream
what did we
things.
invent last week? We said had
4-wheel drive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, cars.
The wheel.
That's your superpower is you uninvent things.
Yeah.
And they're
You
real.
can then invent them.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to have a
Alright.
go at it, I think we could, I don't know, enter the dream world, I guess, and see what information is there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we got
What
out
could
the first
possibly
time.
go wrong?
Remember, if we see any cats, don't touch them. Right? Yeah. No. I would like to go up. I guess.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna
guess-
sing stuff. In that case, that's gonna get you guys towards like it's already
Yeah, we're spending the
6 or
night
so.
here.
There's gonna like you're gonna work in the evening, come down for dinner, finish
When
off.
did-
You guys should be sleeping.
When did Nora leave? Like it's been at least a week, right?
The first is when I got the
So it's been like because it's like currently like the 9th or the 10th.
but oh yeah,
What date?
we
did
actually
she
didn't
send the
get a
letter?
date that she left.
You got the date.
No, but
when
you
she
can
sent
easily
the
find
letter.
that out. It was
Yeah.
it was the 3rd.
The 3rd.
Okay, so it's been
It's now the 8th. I
it's
think.
been
No.
like
It's the 8th or the 9th. I can't remember. That's the 2nd. Was the I can figure it out.
The 5th was the
was the
Friday
second.
or Saturday, I think.
I'll figure it out.
No. It's May, Jackson.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
2nd of
Yeah,
May.
yeah. We're in America.
Yeah, that was
So keep
that was a
that in
risky
mind.
choice, right? From the
Yeah, well, yeah. I was like, we're in America.
And then
I'm
we
gonna
regretted
use.
it.
You should have written May too.
Yeah. Well.
Well, shut up, you.
No, you. No.
I'm backwards doing it. I'm figuring out what to
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah. So I reckon. I just don't think we need to leave right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
if-
we gotta stay the night here anyway.
Yeah.
Look, we got warm beds here. Let's stay the night, and you can work on that machine, and you can talk to Cal.
Sure. And if
It's the 12th.
If we're staying here,
It's the 12th.
Yep. Sunday's the 12th.
It's
So
been
what was the
4
second?
extra
Was that the
days.
Friday or the Saturday?
That was when he went missing.
That was
The
the Friday or
Wednesday, you
Saturday.
guys were in contact on the 9th. No, on the 8th on Wednesday. The 2nd is. I figured that out.
Oh no, that was the Thursday.
we
Time.
What a
That
concept, huh?
That does.
Doesn't
it
matter
work.
what day that was. Like,
That was very.
Well, I
jumbling.
mean, he went missing.
It was a
on
Thursday. It was a Thursday because also on the Friday, he came in on the Thursday, but he went missing on the Friday.
Yeah.
we listen. We also should
It was Thursday night that he was seen.
we also should have a look at
Anywho.
I think that your sister had dreams about someone lingering at the door. I think that could be Carol. Maybe we should even talk about
I think it's Ash, but yeah.
yeah, or possibly Asher. Someone. Anyway, I think we should have a look at if maybe we can get that machine working better now.
Yep. That's
Yeah, that's the
100%
idea.
what we're doing.
Good.
So Edie's gonna work on the machine, and you can go talk to Carol if you want.
You know what, Van? What I really need is someone to bring me like. I need to stay focused, so coffee and tea.
Good idea,
Yeah.
Jose. If you
No.
would.
I'll do that as soon as I talk to Carol. Mr. Vandervan is an incredibly proficient technologist. So if you wanna follow his instructions exactly, I'm sure we can get it working.
Don't worry, Edie. I'll go put on a pot. I go downstairs and put on a pot of coffee. It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah. All right. So the two of you are going upstairs and working on the machine.
Yeah.
Some more so than others. You're putting on a pot of coffee and doing what else?
I don't think I have anything else to do.
Okay,
Um,
Resting.
Look out into the night and muse.
and then think about touching. Like think about
Just go around
what
touching
happens when I
stuff.
touch stuff.
Oh yeah.
No lights.
Maybe you should get some sleep, DeMartino. You look a little bit
Actually, I might.
knocked out.
Might get a
I think
get a little
I
snoozle.
getting punched in the face physically and then mentally was not healthy for me.
DeMartino, you're shaking.
So I come with a pot of I leave the pot of coffee next to a coffee cup, and I go to bed. I just go have a nap.
Proper cup of coffee.
Do you want
And
to?
a
Do you want
proper
to?
cup of coffee cup.
Hey.
Yeah, we put it in Nora's room.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Yep. Seems suitable.
Can I sleep with gloves on?
Yeah.
Do you?
Actually,
Yeah, I
you could
think I
genuinely
do.
request another room. Might actually, because I reckon even then the face.
Yeah,
I
I would.
think
like-
you lie down for a bit and immediately, as you're lying down, you just get like wafts of something pushing in your mind. And just
The hands are what
The
is
key,
the
but-
most sensitive, but I yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you get another room. They have a spare set up, and you can crash there as you lie down and slowly begin to try at least to get to sleep.
With
Um,
strict instruction for you guys to wake me should you find anything.
Oh, yeah,
interesting or
no worries.
anything
All right. Edie, can you make a engineering or electrical repair test, please?
I don't have engineering. I do
elect-
have like trades. Would that just be
yeah,
my
that'd apply.
engineering?
That'd apply. I think yours is
Yeah,
specifically
okay.
welding, but I think for like
Yeah,
getting the
okay,
whole thing
yeah.
up to gear, yeah, no, definitely that would apply.
Okay, I'll use that one.
Go for it.
I might rename that in a second.
Yeah, how are you helping?
Can I help? Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
how are you helping?
Does computer use help you?
I would, you know what? Yeah, I think
Or
actually
would-
you genuinely do have
or
a
would-
bit of a connection to
or-
weirdness.
Or would library use be more helpful looking at the documents in the journal?
I think if you are,
Organizing the
if William is genuinely capable of aiding, because Edie will gain a bonus die.
Yeah.
If William is genuinely capable of stepping back and providing quiet assistance when necessary. Actually, it's almost like a power check to keep quiet and not harass them. It's up to you. I think you can add a bonus die, because computers is you have some
Okay.
ability with like interpreting weird things.
Sure.
So go ahead and
Alright.
roll with a bonus die.
I
Edie.
can? Or she can?
No, she can.
She'll just roll.
Okay.
Oh, motherfucker. I'm
I
gonna
don't need
spend
to roll.
20 points of luck.
Ooh, 20.
I have 93.
Otherwise, oh, okay. I was gonna say you could push it, but that is a lot of luck.
No, 6 has 1. It's a lot the best I can
Okay.
do.
All right, it's gonna take you a while. As soon as you set into it, you realize this thing has been in disrepair or abandoned for probably close to at least 3 years, maybe more. It's just been covered by this tarp, and has just been completely not used. But slowly, over the course of the night, you will begin to clean it up, spin it back into gear, and get it working again. So we'll leave the two of you there for the moment, as you want to go talk to Carol.
Yes.
Okay, as you go into the room, or you knock on the door at least, there's a, come in.
Come inside.
She steps up and doesn't want to sit on the bed, so she stands in front of you. Says, sorry, I don't think we've met.
Hi, I'm José Castillo. I work for Mr. Vandervan, one of the people who's assisting Mr. DeMartino looking into the disappearance of
Oh, okay.
Miss DeMartino. I'm sorry to bother you.
That's alright. I didn't... No, you go.
I'm really worried about her. I think that no one knows where she is. Nick's her only family in the world, and the world is dangerous out there. I know there's been fighting down in the towns that we came through. Nick got punched by someone, and Nora's not a strong person from everything I know. If she's out there by herself, and we saw footprints leading up into the mountains, she could die. She could starve. She could have people, unsavory folks try to rob her, and that's just the dangers that are out there immediately. And I know you're here at a place where you believe in more than just physical dangers, and I believe in those too. And I really think she's in serious trouble. If you know anything, please. It might be the only thing that keeps her alive. I'm trying to intimidate her.
Intimidate, yep. Do this with a bonus die.
Oof. Thank you for the bonus die. I'm gonna burn some luck to make that succeed.
Okie dokie.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
How much?
12.
How much luck are you down to?
22. So not a ton.
Whoa.
I wasn't super hard to start.
As you do this, you can see just like fear goes through her, and as you're going through, she's trying to butt in, but not confident enough to do so. It's only when you stop, she goes, I know, I tried to tell her. I told her not to trust whatever that was, whoever that was. I spoke to her earnestly, but she seemed determined. She brushed me off. Your friend's sister is not the easiest to get along with. I understand we all have our demons. All of us will be tested, and God willing, all of us will prevail, but that thing she was talking to, that woman,
Something she saw in her dreams.
something she felt and saw, yes, I didn't mean to snoop. I can't control it, not fully.
I understand.
And I'm drawn to... I thought Nora was interesting. I was drawn to her, and I just popped in, and I saw her speaking with someone. Terrible, beautiful eyes, and a deep blue flame behind them. And they mentioned going somewhere, finding something, and it wasn't the first time she'd been there. I don't think. While I'm in there in the dreams, I get a feel for how they are. Whatever that thing was, it had wormed its way into Nora. It had made her trust it. I had tried to talk to her the next day and say she shouldn't go, but... Well...
Thank you for telling me. I will-
She steps past you, closes the door, and she goes, I think I saw her too.
The thing.
Last night, I only saw a glimpse for a moment in my dream, and I've got some control, more than Nora had. I think Nora's. I fled. I opened my eyes. I haven't slept since. I'm exhausted, but I don't want to see that thing again.
I can
Please.
understand that. I can understand that. I don't know anything about your powers, so I don't know what I can say to say you won't see it again. Maybe you will. Maybe it's out there. But I can make one offer. I can help you stop it. If this thing is after Nora, then if it's putting her in danger, then me and all of my friends, we're here to stop it and to keep everyone safe. If you would let us, when you sleep tonight, when you dream, we can help watch over you. We can be there in case it comes.
I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep.
I understand that, and we won't. I'm not going to ask you to. I mean, you will fall asleep again. I'm not. We won't make you.
I won't.
Of course.
Not here. I have to leave. I have to go. I have to go home. I don't know what that is, but it's calling. It's asking me to go up and into the mountains, and it is speaking of something that even my sleeping mind can't pronounce. I can't go to sleep. Please, would you just... I'm so tired. Would you read to me? Or
I promise
play
you,
a game?
I won't let you go to sleep unless you want to. So I'll touch her and like shake her slightly and be like, I won't let you go to sleep. I'm very good at keeping people awake. But listen, I've been trapped in places that I didn't want to be too. And if you want to leave here, then we'll help you leave. You don't have to stay here. Mr. Van der Van can take you out.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't...
That's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. Just relax.
I tried to help Nora.
I know you did. I understand.
I didn't know what to say.
And you've helped her more than anyone else. Don't worry. Come with me so that I can make sure you don't fall asleep. Okay. And we'll go. I need to tell the others, but you can just stay nearby.
Okay.
And I'll go upstairs and I report everything to all the others.
As soon as you begin to walk with her, she gathers up, like she has a book which she's been reading, and you see she's thumbed through this 100 times, and she is in that sort of, she's just a little out of it, like groggy. It's probably only actually been like a day without sleep, but just stress and everything is piling on.
Yep.
And she's paranoid. Every time she's blinking quickly, trying not to keep her eyes closed for too long, and she is nervous, terrified of something that's waiting for her when she closes her eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to adopt as bodyguardy as a persona I can around her.
Okay. The two of you, it's going to take a while to work through this, and you're going to be hanging late into the night. Any changes being made, or does the plan stay?
I think that's what we're going to work on.
Okay, you guys keep working. What are you going to do?
I'll report everything to you two, so I'll explain the whole situation to you two. And I'll say, Carol doesn't want to go to sleep here, so...
She's just behind him as well.
She needs to leave before tonight.
Leave and go where?
She'll
Just away from this mountain.
I can take one of the cars and drive her down to Woodstock.
If that's far enough. It's not very far. Like Woodstock is...
10-minute drive.
Yeah, I mean... We can drive you down to Woodstock. You can sleep there, or...
I'm not sleeping. Not until I'm miles away.
I'm going to kind of look towards Mr. Van der Van and kind of like...
Well, at the same time, you can't deny it would help us quite a bit if she fell asleep in the machine over here.
No,
I saw what she was seeing.
I can't.
Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
You haven't seen it. It's not bad. It's so good. And I'm afraid if I fall asleep, it'll draw me in, and I won't be able to say no.
But we'll be there. We'll be there to protect you, and we'll make sure. And that way we know what we're up
You
against.
don't know what you're up against. You don't have a clue.
So show us.
Do you give me a charm check?
Show
I'm gonna say this is gonna be extreme.
Come on.
I am also curious.
I'm a nice guy. But yes, Edie, you would be keenly aware, if you could get this machine working and her in it, you could put your 3 minds, or 4, with the detective, and you could observe the dream and see what happens.
I am
Can I be
curious.
providing advantage to Mr. Van der Van by my
Yeah.
presence here, saying things like, look, if I believe you, I believe this thing is some kind of demon,
Could
it's
I-
terrible, but we're here, this is your chance to not face it alone.
Tell you what, that's going to be our push.
Okay.
Because if that push fails, she has put her trust in you,
Yep.
and you have then pushed her to something that you pointedly said you would not make.
Yep.
Could I alternately try and talk up like how well we've repaired the machine and that it's like
As
quite
you're like whipping with a
it's like
wrench.
super reliable and like
It is a sketchy looking device.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think this is going to be a struggle.
And also, I don't think she's worried about the machine.
okay.
God damn it.
Nice one,
jeez.
That one doesn't count. That's alright. I got
Extreme.
3
What's your charm skill?
85.
All right, so extreme is a 5th of that.
17.
Okay. Tell you what,
Look, it's not impossible odds.
less likely than you predicting the
luck do you
weather, more likely than you reading someone's mind. So
I've also got 80 luck.
Oh my god.
He's going in the machine.
Oh!
What the?
what
Did you roll it natural?
Yeah, he
0, 4.
Well,
Oh.
done. Right.
Oh,
Despite
no.
everything, Van der Van
Bad.
is just the nicest guy in the world, and you can't help but trust him. You want to buy his stocks, and you want to ride in his car.
Why would someone who's rich ever try and lie to us?
She will put her faith in the 3 of you if you're willing to take it. So she's willing. It takes some pushing. It takes some promises being made, and she wants you to, if it happens and if she appears to be being drawn by something, to wake her up and not to leave her in there.
Can do.
We can certainly. Yes.
Okay. All right. By midnight, the machine is repaired. Carol has spent the last hour and a half sitting in a chair across from it, reading over.
Can I actually read to her? Because
Yeah.
since she asked, yeah.
Listening to your words, and whenever she begins to drift off, you give her like a quiet squeeze on the leg just to bring her back, and then she shakes open and continues listening. Is anyone going to fetch the detective?
Yes.
Okay, who wants to go?
I'll go.
I'm
Alright.
busy with
As
my
you head down the
machine.
stairs towards the detective, you open the door and you find him in a deep and pleasant slumber. This is the best sleep he's had in a while, and he needs it. He has also, though, asked you to wake him up if anything happens.
He said to wake him up, and the more minds, the better. I'm just gonna go with that,
Alright, I'm
even
on
though I
it.
don't. It could be. It's not proven.
Detective.
He doesn't even begin to stir.
Nick, we need you upstairs. Come on, buddy.
What?
Oh, my goggles and
With the
everything.
dark outside the window, and as you're there in the dimly lit room, Nick, you are going to need to make a hard power test to wake up.
Really?
Yep. This is a deep sleep.
I don't like the way you're saying
It's
that.
kind of weird that he's so asleep.
No.
No, he's not
76.
waking up, and as you
Got 6
push
extra.
him a bit harder, you would need to actually like shake him now to get him up.
That's fine.
All right. As you begin to shake him, eventually you stir back into consciousness, but you were gone for a minute there, and you have that like, you woke up and you just feel you were out of it. It's as if you still left your head back in the dream for a moment. You have to sort of pull yourself back together, and you don't know, there's a strange room, you're realigning your surroundings, and for a moment, as you're blinking, there's a strange blue light in the hallway, but then you rub your eyes and it's gone.
Sorry.
Where
sorry.
am I?
And you
Let's
blink
sorry.
and you're back.
Well, let's go on.
Sorry. We got stuff going on upstairs. You said to wake you.
I did. I did?
You
I
did.
Oh, wait. Yep. I'm good. Alright. I throw on my coat.
And begin to head upstairs. All right.
Alright.
Upstairs now, Edie's gotten a few work lights and positioned them around to throw bursts of beams of light across the interior. And in the center, 6 chairs have all been re-hooked up to the machine in the center, which is vibrating slightly. And all of the helmets, which go down, sort of wobbling a little bit in their place. You're still reading to Carol, who is kind of losing track of it now and is just focused on this device. And eventually, as Nick comes upstairs, you walk her over to it, seat her down, and begin to pull one of these large colanders down over her head, where it sort of pieces into place, and she begins to look nervously about. One by one, the other 4 of you find seats, and Edie, the last to sit
Am I
down.
also going under?
If you want to. Or you could stay up and be monitored.
Yeah, does someone need to stay awake and pull us out?
I mean, I look, I am as curious as you guys, but I would not want us to be trapped. Certainly, wherever it is you end up.
We could get the director or something to stand over us.
How could we signal, though?
I mean, how can we signal you?
That's true.
You got a better understanding of the machine.
Otherwise, I could stay outside. It would fit in my role as bodyguard. Then again, if we get sucked into something like what happened back in the...
Well, I guess we could just...
I think we should all go under.
Okay, well, in that case, maybe we should get someone to come and, like, turn it off after a couple hours, maybe an hour.
Or if anything,
Could you rig it to power down after a while?
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, I would like to. Maybe just, like, 3 hours. It seems like not.
So you can't get stuck in the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
alright, yep. You head down and you eventually rig something. Actually, go ahead and give me an electrical repair check, or do you have another skill you'd like to use?
That's probably just electrical. I've got mechanical repair. Is it more electrical?
It's probably more electrical. Do you have electrical?
Yeah, I do.
Go electrical, I think, for this one. This is going to be rigging it.
Oh, yes. Success 1.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you have a fuse.
I imagine like you take apart an alarm clock and then like
And
just
and
attach
then
it.
put it to a fuse breaker and then
You
put
just-
that
Or no, it's the
circuit.
2 things that it bounces between. It's just one hooked into one bell and one hooked into the other and just runs right through it. And that's how they work. You screw the thing and put it in the center.
Yeah.
It's a little
Soldering.
cat going like...
Soldering.
Why does it have to be a cat?
It's creepy. It's creepier.
But it's like an
From
alarm
Saturn.
clock. It's gonna wake us up. It's very cute.
I forgot.
Alright.
Ooh.
And Edie, you're going to also...
Yeah, I
Step
may
into
as
it.
well. I don't want to be
Alright.
left out after all my work.
Okay. The 4 of you step into the machine, seat down, put your feet into the little clamps underneath it. Edie heads around the outside and she's found a box of mouth guards that were to be used with the machine. And each of you open your mouth like, bite down so that your teeth don't clench during whatever this is. And then Edie goes along and straps each of your hands in with leather belts so that if during the throes of your dreams you don't hurt yourself or anyone else around you. You're the last to get in and you have to sort of tighten the belt with your teeth as you strap yourself in, hit the mouth guard into place, and power on the device. It begins to hum behind you and you can feel sort of like something just like rattling against the sides of your head, and occasionally it's like numbing, washing over it, but Carol's taking a while to fall asleep. Eventually though, sleep takes her. She can't really fight it off any further. Dream begins to wash through her, into the device, and into the 4 other parties attached to Nesbitt's strange machine. Unfortunately, the 2 of you, when you died back there on Saturn, felt some tether break, and you will be unable to enter into the dream as it forces, and when we pick up next week, only William and only Edie will be able to see what unfolds.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Buddy,
I remember you saying that. I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder when that's going to
Should've-
become relevant.
Should have got away
Right
from the
now.
space cats when you
Yeah.
played.
All right.
You and me, bud.
Jeez Louise. Quickly, here's some faces you can have. That's the director, that's the doctor, and that's a photo of Ash, which was included along with the report.
Do you want to put them down?
Yeah. Can I have them?
Yeah, there you go.
So we've got
The director.
Calisham, yeah, that's
Director
the director.
Calisham, which is pretty fancy looking. And we got, is this Dr. Winslow?
Dr. Winslow, yep.
That's Winslow.
His eyes are a bit.
He's fine. He's chill. And this was Ash?
Yep.
Interesting.
Ash. All right,
Good stuff.
good stuff. All right, well, thank you guys.
Thank you, David.
We will pick this up next week. But in the meantime, Mike Mason's game, Dead of Winter, will be back tomorrow. So make sure you check out that. That's 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
UK GMT. So jump into that. Otherwise, the YouTube videos go live on Thursday and Friday. So you can catch all of this there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
See you later.